confirmed. I thought I saw the Slipknot T-shirt guy back, but I don't. That's somebody else. That's a lady.
Is it another Slipknot T-shirt?
Yeah, it was a different shirt. Sorry.
Is it Brandon Rush?
It was not Brandon Rush.
The biggest Slipknot fan I know. The only Slipknot fan I know.
No, Drake. Drake is and Dylan Buckingham.
Dylan has the worst taste in everything.
I know. I don't know. Carl Albert, Titan Kid, is yelling at me. He's very frustrated.
The clock is under a minute left to play. Play clock is at 3, 2, 1. There's the snap. Fickens going to keep it. He's running up the middle. He's out past the 40. He's got a first down. The 50. And just goes out of bounds because it doesn't matter. That is going to clinch the game for the Muskogee Roughers. And let's just put a bow on it. Jamarian Ficken, the U.S. Army player of the game, and there is no question about that.
Let me tell you something. When Sean Thurman and Jerry Ramsey come to town, it's going to be a game. And last week, it kind of got out of our hands. McGinnis, thanks for that. Great hot dogs, though.
Oh, great hot dogs.
This, my friend, was a fantastic high school game. I want to thank everybody. Thank Young Money, Chloe over here, doing great stuff. Sean, you do it always, but it looks like victory formation as we start to mingle our way to the studio.
10 o'clock, scoreboard show.
Best
you can hear that.
Yep.
If you want to know who is winning in the state of Oklahoma high school football, as Ficken takes the knee, and that should do it. As there's 36 seconds on the play clock, but only 26 on the game clock.
I'm telling you what, Sean Thurman, this was a great high school game. It was a young and upcoming team in Muskogee as 10 seconds on the clock. And, of course, the Titans, what can you say about them? Legacy, yes, they're dealing with an injured star quarterback, but left nothing out on the field. They fought to the very last seconds.
The clock strikes 0, and the Muskogee Roughers have traveled the 2 hours west to Carl Albert, and they come away with a 35-28 victory over the Titans. Jerry, what can you say about the play of Jamarian Ficken tonight? Whether it be through the air, where he threw for over 300 yards and multiple touchdowns, on the ground where he scored. The kid did everything for the Roughers today, and you see why he is a highly prolific player. Over 300 yards passing as a true freshman in multiple games a year ago, and I think his sophomore year may be the year he breaks out.
I mean, this is a nice way to do it, right? This is a way to come out of a coming out party. Let's go ahead and go to Carl Albert and show out. That's exactly what you do. I mean, the sky's the limit for this kid. Like you said, a sophomore, great through the air, great with his feet. And, give it up to, like I said, Carl Albert for putting up a heck of a fight, down 2 touchdowns. They had possession. They had a chance to do something, but, man, I'm telling you what.
There was a great article in the Oklahoman today about kind of the quarterback movement in the Tulsa area. Now, Muskogee's not what you would consider to be necessarily the Tulsa area, but Jamarian Ficken has got to be as good as any of those quarterbacks up there in Tulsa, whether it be Shaker Rising or whoever's playing quarterback now at Jinx, whose name escapes me. He just came out here and put on a show against what is typically a vaunted Titan defense, but maybe this year, you win 6 straight state championships. You got to start over at some point. Last year, they still went to the state semifinals, and they're playing without their starting quarterback tonight. All those things definitely playing a role for Carl Albert.
Hey, listen, all I know is I'm going to stick around and listen to the hippest post-game show that's out there. You want to hear Grant Merrill chop it up with some of the best names in all of high school, you'll do it. You want to hear Randy Heinz read scores way better than me, you can do it.
Barely.
You're talking about the goldfish back there, just hands like a surgeon.
Or fins.
Yeah, because he's a goldfish.
I
like what you did there.
Thank you.
Yes, that's the fastest high school wrap-up show. Like I said, ours has wheels.
Big thanks to Chloe here helping us out with stats tonight. A big thanks to Goldfish back in studio. Of course, thanks to Jerry Ramsey. I couldn't have done it without him. But coming up, it is the high school scoreboard show with Grant Merrill and Randy Heights. Keep it tuned in. 10 o'clock sharp, that kicks off, but that's going to do it for us here at Carl Albert, where the final score is Muskogee 35, Carl Albert 28. You've been listening to the Little Caesars Franchise Spotlight Game of the Week. Have a great night, Oklahoma.
We want to see ya at Kalini Kia.
Ooh, Cora.
Corey, you've got gas.
Sabi, if you smelt it, you dealt it.
Corey, I beg your pardon? I do not have gas. I've got 11 Teslas, EV6s, Ioniqs, Rivian trucks, and the new Hummer EV.
Oh, I do have gas. I have Trackhawks, 10 Hellcats, and even a Dodge Demon.
If you want gas like Corey, Toledo Kia has the most muscle cars in the state.
If you want to be silent but deadly like Sabi, we have more EVs than anyone.
Corey, nobody beats Toledo Kia.
Sabi, nobody.
What do you want most from your career? Stability, a great salary. What about paid training and mentorship? Or the ability to rise to the top of your field on merit alone? How about honor and integrity? A career that makes you and your family proud. That sounds good, but why just choose one benefit? In the U.S. Army, you can have it all. Visit goarmy.com/CS2022 to get started on your journey.
Dell Technologies semi-annual sale has arrived, and it's time to upgrade to the latest business technology. Save big on laptops and desktops with Windows 11 Pro. Plus, get amazing deals on server, storage, and cloud solutions, as well as top work accessories, including docks, monitors, and more. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL for special business offers during our semi-annual sale.
Grammy Award-winning Train, live in concert. Saturday, October 15th, 8 p.m., Lucky Star Casino Concho. One incredible night with Train. Train, live and playing all the hits. On sale now at LuckyStarCasino.org and the Concho Casino Cage. Presented by Save Me San Francisco Wine Company and VGT.
The Choctaw have always been a people on the move. From traditional dances to the game of stickball. While we still proudly celebrate our heritage, today the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma promotes upward movement. Through employment and career development, we encourage physical activity and healthy lifestyles through our wellness centers and health clinics. And we support educational growth through schools, scholarships, and grants. Together, we move forward. Because together, we're more.
I'm the station announcer, and I have some exciting news for you. You can listen to this station and, most importantly, my announcing on your smart speaker.
This is like so exciting.
All you have to do is say,
Alexa, enable the franchise sports radio.
KRXO FM and KRXO HD Oklahoma City, a product of Tyler Media. Vote the franchise your favorite station for sports. Tonight, in every part of our state, the games have been played and champions are being made. And we're covering every single matchup. From GameDayOklahoma.com, this is the Prep Sports Postgame, presented by Aspen Health and Rehab. We're taking you all the way up to midnight as we check in with the state's leading coaches and broadcasters for reports on tonight's game. The Prep Sports Postgame is also brought to you by
Pike Pass and the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority, Billy Sims Barbecue, Rogers State University, Pioneer Cellular, NES, Oklahoma's #1 choice for Epson quality office products, by the Martinez Agency, the Cherokee Nation, Legacy Entertainment LLC, Diesel Horse Sports and Orthopedics, and by the Scoredle app, Oklahoma's source for real-time scores.
From Boise City to Broken Bow, from Miami to Mangum, here's Grant Merrill and Randy Heights as the Prep Sports postgame starts now.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome in to the third installment of the most imitated scoreboard show in Oklahoma. This is the Prep Sports Post Game from border to border and to sea to shining sea.
Or man-made lake to man-made lake.
Yes.
In Oklahoma.
Something like that. I'm Grant Merrill. He's Randy Heights. It's good to be with you. And we had a lot of good action tonight, a lot of great games, and we have a full call board coming up of people to talk to.
Yeah, and really it's the final week of a full call board before district play gets underway, because next week, a lot of schools that played in week 0 use next week as kind of that bye week to get ready for district play. So this week we'll have a full call board, a few less games next week, and then right into it the week after that, district play and the games that matter for playoff stats.
Well, let's go ahead and get to the NES scoreboard. It's brought to you by NES, Oklahoma's #1 choice for Epson copiers, and it is powered by our friends at Scoredle. And by the way, we are simulcasting on Scoredle TV tonight, so Hi, Mom. Thanks for watching. Let's go ahead and get to 6A1 tonight. Choctaw was leading Westmore at last report, 46-20 was the score just a moment ago in the fourth quarter. That, of course, being broadcast on one of the stations here in Oklahoma City tonight.
KEBC, yeah.
KEBC. 1560 and 103.3. Stillwater, big win over Yukon tonight, 55-9. The final score, Pioneers over the Millers. In the fourth quarter, Edmond Memorial leads Edmond North, 42-21. Owasso just edging Broken Arrow, 27-26. The final score in the Patriot Bowl / Blankenship Bowl being played at Memorial Stadium tonight.
And Broken Arrow, tough start to the season, but you kind of like the bounce back in the fight they showed in this game tonight.
And this would be the first time in recent memory that Broken Arrow starts 0-3 to start their season. I don't remember a time that's happened, but it happened now. Union with a big win over Jinx tonight in the Backyard Bowl. Of course, the Trojans beaten and battered after their first few weeks of the season. Union's Redhawks end up winning that one 38-3. We will talk to Rick Corey about that from our affiliate in Tulsa, 1170 The Blitz, coming up at 10:20 tonight. Bixby, no surprise, they get a big win, 67-3 over the Sand Springs Sandites. Deer Creek over Mustang tonight, 24-21. Norman North beats Santa Fe 28-20, and more with a big win over the Norman Tigers. Final score there, 42-7. Class 6A2, a game heard on our flagship station, 107.7, the franchise that just wrapped up. Muskogee beats Carl Albert tonight, 28-21. Northwest Classen falling to Mount St. Mary. Final score there, 42-19. Wagner, big win over Tahlequah as they bounce back from last week's loss, 43-3, the final score there. It was Lawton over MacArthur at last check in the fourth quarter, the game being heard on Magic 95, our affiliate in Southwest Oklahoma, 51-26. I assume they'll join us in progress. It was Deer Creek over Mustang, as we mentioned, 24-21. Putnam City over Putnam City West. Final score there, 37-8. Sapulpa beats Bartlesville tonight. Chieftains victorious, 27-21. And this one's listed for tomorrow. I think Booker T. Washington and McLean. That'll be a 1:15 kickoff according to Squirtle, and so that one set for a Saturday afternoon affair. Class 5A, Mr. Hikes.
Yeah, and of course on that Booker T looking to get back on the winning track after losing to Del City last week. And that brings me to 5A scoreboard. Speaking of the Del City Eagles tonight, they roll over Midwest City, shutting them out 41-0. We'll have Coach Jones on at the bottom of the hour talking about Del City's 3-0 start to the season. Grant mentioned here, Muskogee over Carl Albert, 28-21. Collinsville, big over Skiatook tonight, 63-20. Tuttle, they roll Noble tonight in a score fest, 61-41 the final there.
We'll have Chase Horsley on, the voice of Tuttle, here in the 11 o'clock hour.
Well, there we go. Edison Prep, 43, Memorial 7.
How about those Eagles?
I know. I mean, they just keep winning, right? No, I'm just kidding. That was their first one, right?
Well, their volleyball team does.
Yeah,
That's because they're coached by my wife.
I was going to give you credit, right? Your wife is the one over there winning for Edison Prep in volleyball. Guthrie tonight. How about this score? Big over Duncan tonight, 54-7, and that still says it's in the fourth quarter. So Guthrie putting up a big number there. Sperry over Glenpool, 34-7. Will Rogers over Durant, 30-6. That game in the fourth quarter.
That's a final, actually.
Has it gone final now?
Levy Adcock, head coach of the Rogers Ropers, to join us at 10:27 tonight.
How about what he's done with that program?
My gosh.
And granted, we all know, again, these games don't necessarily count for playoff seedings and everything, but a school like Rogers and what they've gone through years past, just to be 2-0.
Yeah. When you haven't won it all and then you knock off Holland Hall and Durant in 2 consecutive weeks, they are onto something at Rogers.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. McAllister and Ada. McAllister, of course, traveled last weekend to Louisiana, got a big win out of state. They come back in state playing Ada in the third quarter. They're up 28-0. There's a reason why they're number one team in Class 5A.
34-0 final.
It's gone.
They just updated Squirtles.
All right, and Sapulpa, as you mentioned, beats Bartlesville 27-21. Claremore over Oologah tonight, 35-33. Grove over Jay, 49-6. Hilldale over Nathan Hell, 61-7. Southeast shuts out Class and SAS, 46-0. Bishop McGinnis over Bishop Kelly, 35-6. We'll have Todd Lisenby on here in a little while to recap Blanchard Piedmont, but Piedmont gets the victory tonight 28-13. Weatherford over El Reno 20-19. Lawton Ike over Altus 36-21. Cash and Elgin winning 27-0. One other score from 5A. Shawnee and Ada are in Ardmore. Ardmore wins it 28-14, the final there in 5A.
Voice of the Tigers, Bryson Colwell, to join us in the 11 o'clock hour. Let's go to the 4A scoreboard as Newcastle beats Plainview, or leads Plainview in the fourth quarter as of 6 minutes ago, 23-13. We'll have Josh Calloway on in the 11 o'clock hour, the voice of the Racers. Big win for Collinsville tonight. They beat their Highway 20 rival Skiatook with a 63-20 final score. As Randy mentioned, Albert McAllister ends up blanking Ada 34-0. My dad's alma mater beat my mom's alma mater tonight. Muldrow,
I think that happened last year, too.
Oh, it did. Muldrow over Sallisaw tonight, 38-17 in the Sequoia County shootout. We'll have Justin Pettit on coming up to talk about that one. Hara beats Western Heights 49-6 tonight. Tecumseh over Seminole 34-8. Bethany beats Woodward, who Woodward's Boomers starting out winless at this point in the season. 42-14, Bethany victorious. Hilldale over Nathan Hale tonight, 61-7. Southeast beats Classen. Metro Christian over Poto's Pirates. That's a big game.
Yeah.
Patriots win that one 35-31 tonight. Cushing leading Perkins Tryon 43-21 in the fourth quarter. Hugh Foley, the voice of Cushing, will join us coming up in the 11 o'clock hour. Miami with a win over Inola 34-7. Clinton leading Heritage Hall at last check 28-7. It was Manford leading Cleveland at last check 35-7. As you mentioned, Claremore edges Oologah tonight. We talked about Wagner beating Tahlequah. Verdigris, big win over Catoosa tonight, 47-14. Piedmont over Blanchard, 28-13. Medill is rolling. They beat Dixon tonight, 46-0. It was Broken Bow over Idabel at last check, 21-14 in the fourth quarter. Stillwell and Adair County beating Keys tonight, 36-16. And Canadian out of Texas ends up going to Oklahoma and playing Elk City. Elk City edges Canadian 37-36. That is a final. 3A, Mr. Heights.
Yeah, Canadian, Texas, home of former Oklahoma Sooner Austin Eagle. Yep. 3A scoreboard for you. Clinton and Heritage Hall. Clinton wins 28-7 tonight. Chakotah over Haskell, 39-29. That game in the fourth quarter. Newcastle over Plainview, 23-13 in the fourth quarter. Prague over North Rock Creek, 62-12. Cushing over Perkins Tryon, 43-21 in the fourth. You got Miami knocking off Inola 34-7. Muldrow over Sallisaw, as you mentioned, 38-17. St. Mary over Northwest Classen, 42-19. Cassia Hall over Berry Hill, 28-21. Benita shutting out Dewey, 44-0. Manford over Cleveland, 35-7. Kingfisher defeating Chisholm, 56-6. Tecumseh over Seminole, 34-8. Lone Grove over Valiant, 50-8. Locust Grove knocks off Adair, 22-8. Medill, they shut out Dixon tonight, 46-0. Verdigris, big over Catoosa, 47-14. Stigler with a shutout over Blackwell, 52-0. Lone Grove over Valiant, 50-8. Davis, Sulphur knocks off Davis in the rivalry, 21-6. Grove over Jay, 49-6. Marlow, they shut out Comanche, 62-0. Pauls Valley over Purcell in the fourth quarter, 38-20. Tulsa Central over Okmulgee in the third, 42-8. And Lincoln Christian over Vian, 42-0 has gone final. McLeod over Bethel, 21-7. Metro Christian gets by Poto tonight, 35-31. And we'll have a report from Tony Wilson later on, but Chandler defeats Bristow 23-16 in overtime.
Help if I turn my microphone on. Hang with us. We got your calls coming up. Check in with some of our broadcasters and coaches around the state and more scores straight ahead. This is the Prep Sports Post Game.
When your health throws you a curveball, many times outpatient rehab is your best option. Aspen Health and Rehab in Broken Arrow is changing the way that Oklahoma families are thinking about long-term care. With every amenity of home, first-class dining, and professionals that put your care first, Aspen Health and Rehab is ready to take on your personalized plan of care. Check them out today at aspenhealthrehab.com. Aspen Health and Rehab, where healthcare and luxury come together.
Squirtle is Oklahoma's premium scoring app for high school sports statewide. Through Squirtle, not only can sports fans check their team's scores, rankings, district standings, and schedules, they can find state playoff brackets, chat live with a new chat forum, or use the new fan poll to pick individual game winners. Updates are rolling out regularly, keeping the app fresh and current. Know the score of games across Oklahoma. Download the Squirtle app now for free in the Apple or Android store. Always know the score with Squirtle. Dr. Matt Dieselhorst at Dieselhorst Sports and Orthopedics can help you get game day ready. Dr. Dieselhorst works with athletes of all ages, taking a coordinated approach to accelerate return to play and maximize athletic performance. His work with pros in sports training, injury prevention, bracing, functional rehabilitation, and imaging works seamlessly with his medical and surgical expertise. Get started by going to Dieselhorst Sports and Orthopedics. Let Dr. Matt Dieselhorst get you back on the field, backing all Oklahoma athletes on the field and off.
If you're a coach or athletic director, this message is for you. Legacy Entertainment has provided light and sound for Oklahoma's hottest concerts for years, but now they're helping schools just like yours elevate their game day atmosphere. From providing light and sound systems to coordinating your team's run-through with fog machines and the hottest elements out there, they'll make sure Friday nights are never the same again. They've helped schools like OU, and they'll help you too. Check them out at legacyllc.net. Legacy Entertainment, where every day is game day.
Are you a gearhead? Wife tired of you tinkering with that old car in the garage? Come to OKC Auto Works. They have the tools, cars to tinker with, and they'll pay you. OKC Auto Works has been the go-to auto repair and service center for decades and is looking for mechanics to join their team. Great benefits and a friendly workplace atmosphere. Become part of the OKC Auto Works family. Call Brian at OKC Auto Works, 405-634-8200. That's 405-634-8200.
Tired of living with chronic joint pain from arthritis or injury? Stop with the steroids and pain meds and don't have surgery until you check out regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics.
These therapies can help the body have long-term relief of your pain.
Meet Dr. Justin Garzone, Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
We use your body's own healing properties, highly concentrate them, and then use that to restore and repair the damaged tissues in your joints.
This is a cutting-edge natural solution from local medical professionals.
We have a team of medical assistants, physician assistants, nurse practitioners, and physicians that are trained specifically just to do regenerative medicine.
And Dr. Garzone speaks from personal experience. Before joining the QC Kinetics team, he was an actual patient.
I am now pain-free.
You too can get lasting relief from joint pain. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 405-289-9662. That's 405-289-9662. 405-289-9662.
Man, I slept.
New ZQuil Pure Z's Restorative Herbal Sleep is made for people who are tired of being tired.
I've never slept like this before. I've never woken up like this before.
A melatonin-free sleep aid made with a botanical blend that contains clinically studied and effective valerian root, hops, and passion flower, shown to help promote better restorative sleep. ZQuil Pure Z's Restorative Herbal Sleep. Sleep this good, feel this good. Available at retailers near you.
Across the great state of Oklahoma tonight, it is the Prep Sports Post Game. I'm Grant Merrill. He is Randy Heights. 10-16. And if you've got a score that you want to report to us that you haven't heard just yet on the NES scoreboard powered by Squirtle, you can tweet us. I'm at Grant Merrill, GrantMerrill. Are you still locked out of your Blue Check account?
Yeah, and I've given up. I've sent, Twitter is a nightmare. I've sent them 3 reports, and all I did is, this goes with the report filed with this number they gave me the very first time. I'm like,
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, I get
So
that it goes with that report.
We have ceded your celebrity account to the Russians, is what
Yeah,
you're telling
it
me.
says it's Elon Musk last time
Okay,
I saw.
gotcha. Well, Randy Heights is at Randy_Heights, HEITZ.
That's right.
Got it right. I could win the spelling bee. Let's go to the phone lines. Our in-studio hotline, of course, says it's brought to you by Legacy Entertainment. If you have a game day atmosphere that you want to establish, Legacy Entertainment can help you do that with the best in lights and sound. Legacy Entertainment, of course, based out of the Tulsa area. Call Jason Jackson and his crew today. Todd Listenby bore witness tonight to Piedmont and Blanchard this evening. And Mr. Listenby, I listened to you on the way down. Quite a broadcast. You guys had a good competitive game tonight.
Yeah, we did. I just want to say, first of all, I still don't understand how in the world anyone gave Randy Heights a blue check mark to begin with. I mean, maybe that was just Twitter trying to undo their mistake.
You know,
I don't know.
It was the same. It was the same logic that we cut off your broadcast in week 0 to go to the scoreboard show. I mean, it's just kind of the same thing.
I got you. No, it was a the scoreboard probably tells a little bit of a fib on this game because Piedmont really controlled the line of scrimmage and controlled this game for the most part from start to finish. It was 21-0 Piedmont early second quarter. Blanchard gets back in the game. They score a touchdown. They get a turnover in the last 2 minutes of the first half, punch another touchdown in. It goes 21-13 into halftime. And, Piedmont runs that flex bone offense. And basically, this is the second half in a nutshell, guys. Piedmont got the ball to start the second half. They had the ball for 9 minutes and 40 seconds and fumbled deep in Blanchard territory. Blanchard got it back with a little over 2.5 minutes to go in the third. They went on a drive into Piedmont territory, turned it over on downs. Piedmont gets it back with 9:48 to go and scores a touchdown with just over 2 minutes left to take a 15-point lead. So we had 3 possessions in the first, 22 minutes of the second half. They were just all long, drawn-out possessions, especially from Piedmont. I don't have time of possession, but they just really controlled the line of scrimmage. Only threw the ball one time all night for 3 yards, and that flex ball was tough for Blanchard to stop, and Piedmont comes away with the 28-13 victory.
Hey, Todd, just real fast. What was weirder, the fact there were 3 possessions in the second half, or according to your producer back here in studio, Josh, he said it was 21-0 with like 2 minutes left to go in the first half, and next thing you know, you look up, it's 21-13. Which was weirder, the second half or that?
Yeah. Probably the way the first half ended because Piedmont had all the momentum, and Blanchard put together a nice drive to make it 21-7. And then, Piedmont running that flex bone, they came out with like a minute 20 to go, and you think, oh, they're just going to run some fullback dive, run the clock out, go to halftime. And I'll be darned if, they just run a pitch play and guy fumbles, and Blanchard gets a turnover right before halftime, cut the lead down to 8. But because Piedmont got the ball to start the second half and went on that long drive, even when Blanchard got the ball back, it just still felt like Piedmont had, that game by the horns, and they end up getting the victory. So now Blanchard's got a road trip to Shawnee next week, a road trip to Harrah the following week. So I'm going to be hanging out at my old stomping ground of Eastern Oklahoma County the next couple Fridays.
Good report, Todd. Appreciate you, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys. Keep up the great work.
All right, onward we go here at 10:20 on the Prep Sports Post Game. We go to the man who endorses more products than any radio personality in the state of Oklahoma. That would be Rick Corey of 1170 The Blitz, if I can spit that out, the voice of Union football. How are you, sir?
Well, I'm pretty good, and if you want to list off those sponsors, they'd all appreciate it.
Well, I mean, I know there's like some dude did your backyard the other day. There was a garage door specialist. I mean, I'm hoping you can trade out my funeral one day, Rick. I mean,
let's just say that 40 years in radio will get you some clients. But here's the thing to know: I paid for every one of those services.
I bet you did. Well, you easily paid for whatever it was worth for your admission to the Backyard Bowl tonight, because Union and Jinx definitely had a great showing, and it was all Red Hawks all the time this evening.
It was. It's been a while since it's been like that. As you know, Grant, this is very rarely a blowout. The First Bank Backyard Bowl almost never is. And a lot of times when that's happened during the season, someone's coming back at the end of the year and they've won a game. This one was really tight. It was 3-0 Jinx in the first quarter. Both teams, I think much like what we saw when Bixby and Owasso opened the season, we saw some nerves from both teams early on. That's really timely turnovers, including a Devin Robson interception for a touchdown early in the third quarter. When Union, that halftime lead was slim. It was a 10-7 game, and they come back, or a 14-7 game, they come back and they get the opportunity to then get that touchdown by Devin, and that's one of two interceptions on the night, and really started to put the gas to it. Shaker Rising then connects with Grayson Tempest, a long touchdown, 77 yards, and before you know it, you're off to the races.
How was Shaker Rising received back at Allen Trimble Stadium for the first time?
Well, he's already had the one start here, and he was all good. Now, we were kind of watching. These two teams have great respect for each other. I've said this on the radio before. This is a lot more like OU Nebraska than like OU Texas.
Right.
They want to win, but there's respect on both sides of this. There were a couple of personal foul penalties in this game. One of them on a sack, and I think it simply was somebody said something. I didn't see anything that I would consider, anybody twisting an ankle or I didn't see late hits or any of those kinds of things. I think somebody on a sack of Shaker might have said something. Otherwise, it really kind of nondescript. They just went and played the football game. Shaker, by the way, was, as he normally is, just remarkable.
Good. Player of the game tonight, who is it?
Well, we made it Shaker, and here's why. Now, we could have picked a lot of people. DJ McKinney had over 150 yards. Grayson Tempest, again, over about 120 yards receiving. Covington had 12 tackles. Devin Robinson had the 2 interceptions. Could have made it a lot of people. The reason we made it Shaker, I just really wanted to hear a little bit more what he said about the emotion of playing this game against the guys who were his brothers last year. I mean, he's played this game 3 times. He's 3-0, twice for Jason, now once for Union. And he was as calm as he could be. He was who you expect him to be. Guy's got one of the most amazing releases I've ever seen. And right now, I think what really shocks me, Grayson Tempest wanted the quarterback job. There's no question. And the way Kirk Frederick told me when we did our pregame meeting was, look, he's not happy about not being the quarterback, but he wants to help this football team. Having said that, now he's a receiver for Shaker Rising, and the two have created an unbelievable chemistry in just 3 games. You would swear, Grant, they've been playing together as long as Jerry Rice and Joe Montana.
Oh, wow. That's awesome to hear. I know Union's got an exciting potential for this rest of the year, and we'll hopefully talk to you about it every week, Rick Corey.
I will be here when you need me.
All right, brother. Thank you. Appreciate it. Onward we go. The head coach of the Bixby Spartans, who gets another huge win tonight. Bixby, 67, Sand Springs, 3. Back to their 6A2 roots for one night and one night only. Coach, how are you this evening?
Excellent. Doing well. I appreciate you guys calling.
Well, we're glad to, and I know this is just another big win. It's certainly not one that you took for granted, even though it was a big lopsided victory for your Spartans.
No, we don't. Yeah, that's for sure. Sand Springs is always an excellent opponent. Coach Klink and his staff are really, really good, are doing good things over at Sand Springs, and it's my alma mater. So I always want to go out and play extremely well against those guys. And our guys did. We came out really well tonight and executed at a high level.
Give us the rundown. How did you run up that? It was 53-0 at one point when I was listening in, and you guys ran it up pretty quickly. Your high-powered offense obviously pouring fuel on the fire tonight pretty quick.
Yeah, so our defense was pretty tenacious. It came out and immediately got us the ball, and then I think we scored on the second play from scrimmage. Cordell Goldsby took a bubble screen to the house, and then defense came back out, and we had a pick and got excellent field position, and then Tyson Williams from his corner position had a pick 6 as well. And so there were a couple mistakes on Sand Springs side that our guys were able to capitalize on. And what's that?
Oh, no, we lost you for a second.
We lost you for a second. Don't worry about it, Coach.
Oh, okay. I apologize.
No.
And then they had a couple penalties, one particularly on one of our scoring plays, and the field position it creates. So we were able to steal another possession with an onside kick and in the first half there. And so things really snowballed. We had great performances. I'd say, if I had to talk about player of the game, Tyson Williams, our senior corner, kind of an unsung hero, but he had an excellent punt return, had a pick six, excellent coverage. Lucas, our Arkansas commit, big tight end, he had close to 100 yards receiving and was just physical blocker. So just really pleased by the performance of a lot of our guys, and defense is playing at a high level right now.
Hey, Lauren, I wanted to ask you, you got your first 3 games out of the way. As a coach, when you get ready to move into district play and you look back at the 3 games you've played, have you got what you wanted out of these 3 games as you head into district play?
I think so. Our first game against Owasso was a slugfest in the first half. It was back and forth. It was in the balance for quite a while, which I thought was really good for our guys. We were able to go on the road. We got quite a few road trips, and we were able to go over to Springdale Harbor and execute just all the logistics of the trip well. And we're going to have to do that here in a couple of weeks after our bye week when we go to Norman North. And then this week, our first home game. That's, believe it or not, it's week, our 3rd game, but it's our first home game. And so, that's new to us as well. So I think we got what we wanted out of it. We're a little banged up, but we came out fairly clean. So this bye week's going to be nice to hopefully heal up just a little bit and get a few guys back.
Coach, player of the game tonight, who is it?
Well, I'm going to have to go with Tyson Williams, our corner, number 4. He had the pick, the big punt return. Made some great plays with the ball in there. Just super proud of him.
All right, Coach Lauren Montgomery, thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you in 2 weeks. Enjoy the night off next week.
Hey, we'll see you then.
All right. Head coach of the Bixby Spartans, Lauren Montgomery. A couple of 2A football scores. We got Levy Adcock from Rogers coming up after the break, and we want to take a minute to talk to him. Veneta beats Dewey tonight, 47-6. Hominy beating Pawhuska this evening, 27-22. Big win for Fairview tonight. They beat Alva 60-28. It was Newkirk beating Woodland in the 4th quarter, 31-30. McLeod over Bethel, 21-7. Tulsa Central, big lead over Okmulgee at last report, 42-8. I think Marlon Houston's going to join us to talk about that one here in the next few minutes. Big win for Kingfisher tonight. They beat Chisholm 56-6. Lone Grove over Valiant at last report, 50-8. That was in the first quarter, by the way. I think that's right.
Got to be the wrong quarter, right?
I
just forgot to change quarters.
Rejoice Christian, Chance Wilson and company, thumping Beggs tonight, 70-16. We'll talk to Bill Bush, the voice of the Eagles, here in just a few minutes. Chelsea over Newada tonight, 50-20. Tonkawa over Perry, 59-6. Warner beats Sallisaw Central, 28-7. Ringling over Marietta, 58-0. Lone Grove over Valiant, 50-8. As we mentioned, Marlow shutting out Comanche, 62-0. Blackwell falling to Stigler tonight, 52-0 as well. Hang with us. More of the Prep Sports Post Game straight ahead. Thanks for being with us tonight on the Game Day Oklahoma Network.
The Franchise.
When your health throws you a curveball, many times outpatient rehab is your best option. Aspen Health and Rehab in Broken Arrow is changing the way that Oklahoma families are thinking about long-term care. With every amenity of home, first-class dining, and professionals that put your care first, Aspen Health and Rehab is ready to take on your personalized plan of care. Check them out today at aspenhealthrehab.com. Aspen Health and Rehab, where healthcare and luxury come together.
Squirtle is Oklahoma's premium scoring app for high school sports statewide. Through Squirtle, not only can sports fans check their team's scores, rankings, district standings, and schedules, they can find state playoff brackets, chat live with a new chat forum, or use the new fan poll to pick individual game winners. Updates are rolling out regularly, keeping the app fresh and current. Know the score of games across Oklahoma. Download the Squirtle app now for free in the Apple or Android store. Always know the score with Squirtle. Dr. Matt Dieselhorst at Dieselhorst Sports and Orthopedics can help you get game day ready. Dr. Dieselhorst works with athletes of all ages, taking a coordinated approach to accelerate return to play and maximize athletic performance. His work with pros in sports training, injury prevention, bracing, functional rehabilitation, and imaging works seamlessly with his medical and surgical expertise. Get started by going to Dieselhorst Sports and Orthopedics. Let Dr. Matt Dieselhorst get you back on the field, backing all Oklahoma athletes on on the field and off.
If you're a coach or athletic director, this message is for you. Legacy Entertainment has provided light and sound for Oklahoma's hottest concerts for years, but now they're helping schools just like yours elevate their game day atmosphere. From providing light and sound systems to coordinating your team's run-through with fog machines and the hottest elements out there, they'll make sure Friday nights are never the same again. They've helped schools like OU, and they'll help you too. Check them out at LegacyLLC.net. Legacy Entertainment, where every day is game day.
Ken Boyer is everywhere. When a loved one has stumbled and ends up in jail, call Ken Boyer to make the bail. For immediate bonding day or night, look no further than Ken Boyer Bail Bonds. With over 35 years experience, let Ken and his professional staff help you. Open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, accepting all major credit cards. Conveniently located just 3 blocks north of the jail at the corner of Northwest 6th and Chartel. The right bondsman can make a difference. Call Ken Boyer Bail Bonds.
The Choctaw have always been guardians of our tribal members and neighbors near and far. From the Tushka that defended our villages to aid given to the Irish during the potato famine. Today, the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma guards the well-being of our communities through a network of health initiatives. We protect Oklahoma through our disaster response team, and we preserve our heritage through cultural activities. Together, we're there for our members and neighbors, because together, we're more.
PRCA Extreme Bulls and Bronx Double Trouble Tour. Hard-pounding, dirt-slinging action. With the Extreme Bulls and Bronx of the PRCA, go head-to-head with some of the toughest cowboys in the land. Extreme Bulls, featuring Trace Atkins at the 2022 Oklahoma State Fair. Jim Norick Arena, Friday, September 23rd, 7:30 p.m. Concert takes place immediately following the Bulls and Bronx action. Tickets are on sale now at the Jim Norick Arena box office, online at okstatefair.com, or by calling 405-948-6800. We'll sell you the whole seat, but you only need the edge. The PRCA Extreme Bulls and Bronx Double Trouble Tour, featuring Trace Atkins, is presented by Coors Banquet. Get your fair share of fun at the 2022 Oklahoma State Fair. New album out now.
Friday night football has concluded in most of the great state of Oklahoma. We are here for all the scores from border to border. Thank you for being with us tonight. I'm Grant Merrill. He's Randy Heights. This is the Prep Sports Postgame presented by Aspen Health and Rehab, West Houston Street in Broken Arrow, where long-term care and luxury come together. Back to the phone lines we go. He is the head coach of the Will Rogers Ropers. Big win over Holland Hall last week. Tonight, they knock off the Durant Lions, and Levy Adcock joins us here. Coach, how are you tonight?
I'm good. How about y'all?
Well, we are wonderful. I know that this is just a great time to be a Rogers Roper. You guys really seem to be hitting it on all cylinders, and you get a big win over another big Oklahoma program this evening.
Yes, sir. What you said about us getting everything rolling right cylinders, that's true and false at the same time, but there's a lot of things getting cleaned up. I'm just really happy with my kids and their effort, their attitudes, everything like that. We're rolling in the right direction as far as that, but we still got to get some different things cleaned up as far as penalties and ball security and stuff like that.
You know, you said last week that you took over a team that hadn't won a whole lot in the last few years, and now you're really getting some quality wins, especially with last week over Holland Hall. I mean, what's the biggest thing that you attribute to the change? Is it just culture, or is it just a buy-in? What's really made the difference this year?
I think it's a little bit of culture and buy-in. All I was ever told is it's hard to get kids there when they're out of school. Well, Monday and Tuesday we didn't have school, and I had of 62 kids, I had 50 kids there both days. And I think I have to attribute to the leadership of my team. They're getting kids there. They're on the phone, texting each other, getting rides, carpooling. I mean, I have 62 kids on my team, and I think 5 of them drive vehicles.
Wow.
So I watch them pull up, man, and I watch 5, 6 kids call the cars. I pick up kids every time. I think, in my opinion, in my view of it, is the leadership of my team is better than I ever imagined.
Coach, who were your standouts tonight, and who was your player of the game in your win over Durant?
My standout tonight, and my two running backs, Quay Cherry and Isaac Arcee. Addison Code had a big game, got a pick and a touchdown, a couple big receptions. Idris Anderson played both ways, made a lot of plays defensively, and then caught a big touchdown pass for us to get the momentum rolling back in our direction. The player of the game, I think, goes to our junior quarterback, Andrew Ivory.
All right. Next up for the Ropers.
Next week, we got East Central at home.
Outstanding. And Mrs. Adcock should be happy tonight that Muldrow beat Sallisaw, right?
She's sitting right here.
Well,
you know Muldrow beat Sallisaw? Yeah, she's pumped up about that.
There you go. Well, we're happy for the Bulldogs as well tonight. Coach, thanks for being with us.
Hey, man, thank you for having me on and talk about my team. They deserve all the praise.
Well, we'll talk to you next week, and we appreciate you being with us. Let's go to another great coach who had a great game tonight, and that's Coach Robert Jones over at Dell City. How are you tonight?
Doing great. Thank you guys for having me on.
Well, another big evening for your team to talk about how everything went down between Dell City and Midwest City tonight.
The things went great. You know, our motto all year has been we're going to focus on what we can control, and that's our attitude, our effort, and our conditioning. You know, I'm reading this book, and, you know, it talks about John Wooden, how John Wooden never really spoke about his opponents. He just spoke about the things they control. And that's our attitude, effort, and being a good teammate and being in great shape. And that's all we've been focusing on all year. No matter who we play, we feel like if we can control the things that we can control, we're going to like the in the score. And it's been a good ingredient for us this year, and we're having a lot of success. And you know, this is a big-time rivalry. It's one of the best in the state. To be able to come out and win 41-0, I think we made a statement, and I think that we're going to continue to grow. And we still got a lot of things to clean up. We still haven't played a great game on all three phases of the game. You know, we're still missing tackles and making mistakes on defense. And we left 4 touchdowns on. We got 3 touchdowns scored called back on penalty. So even though the scoreboard didn't show that we struggled a little bit, we still got a lot of things to clean up. So if we want to be a championship program, we got to continue to grow. We got to continue to get better. But we are excited about the win. Anytime you can beat your arch rival by 40 points and get a goose egg on the score, you're very excited about that.
Hey, Coach, as you move through this season, everything, you know, like you say, you may not be playing perfect, but you're playing well and implementing your system, getting things going on the right page. How big is, you know, victories like you've had the last 2 weeks, being in rivalry games, how big are those to really get you motivated and get your team ready and focused for district play?
Well, you know, my mentor is Coach Rose, and, you know, I played for him in high school at Carl Albert, and I still go over and have dinner at his house every Wednesday. And he always told me, you know, when I played at Carl Albert, we scheduled hard early on in the season. In my junior and senior years in high school, we started 1-3 in both years, and we ended up winning state championship those years. So I knew I really wanted to schedule hard and not district to get us prepared, to get us a great foundation going into district. So it's been great for us. And what it does for you, it shows the kids that all the hard work in the classroom, all the hard work in the field room, and focusing on what you can control, it's just giving the kids confidence in doing the right things every day. So I think they understand that if we continue to do the right things and we focus on ourselves and we don't focus on the rankings or all the high praises that we're going to get from these kinds of wins, if we just focus on the reward of working hard and having a good attitude, being a great teammate, you don't care who scores, and you don't care who makes the tackles. So, you know, we can grow because they're saying to give us success. So I'm excited about that.
Hey, one final question for you, Coach, just real fast. How do you handle the bye week now before district play?
Well, we're gonna handle it by getting a lot of rest. I promise you that. We're gonna get some guys rested up. We're healthy. We came out of those 3 games healthy, which is a huge plus. You play 2 6A powerhouses, and you play a school like Midwest City, who, you know, has been in 6A for years, and they're always gonna have athletes. They're a mirror of ourselves. We're gonna get healthy, get some rest, focus on some fundamentals, let ourselves rest mentally too, spend some time with our families, and, you know, just have a good balance. And, you know, football isn't life. It's something that prepares you for life. So we got to have a balance and get some rest and just enjoy that free time. So we got out of that Garland 3-0, and that's what we wanted. We feel confident going into district, especially getting this next week off, and we're excited about going up and playing these east side of the state teams. I never really played those teams in high school or in my coaching career, so I'm excited to get on the east side and just see a different part of the state and go get some different matchups and get our guys rested up.
Coach, congratulations. We'll talk to you in 2 weeks.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, Coach Robert Jones, head coach of Dell City tonight. Let's go over to the central part of the state where Bill Huddleston is probably on his way home this evening from Carl Albert. Of course, the Muskogee Roughers with a big win this evening, and he had the call on Okie Country 101.7. Bill, how are you this evening?
I'm exhausted.
It sounds like it.
This football game was a battle. It was a battle. Muskogee came in 2-0. Perhaps not playing as challenging opponent as they faced tonight, but when you walk in and you see the 16 state championship banners staring you in the face, noting the tradition of Carl Albert football, you knew you were going to have to come and bring your best game.
Yes.
And I think for the most part, Muskogee did that both offensively as well as defensively. There was a lot of attention in the preparations given to slowing down the ground game of the Titans, led by Xavier Robinson, who last week had 261 yards and 4 scores in their win over Midwest City. Tonight, the Muskogee Roughers limited to Robinson to just about 114 yards, I think was his final total. Although when he lines up in the Wildcat, this guy is a man. He's not just a high school junior. He is a man-child with a football. Now, Muskogee offensively came out slugging from the very get-go. They take their first drive, starting from their own 6, put together a 94-yard drive with Jamarian Ficklin hooking up with Caden McGee, what would be the first of 2 touchdown connections between that combination for the Roughers. The Roughers would also get a 3rd touchdown of the night from Ficklin to Jaden Bell. But then when it came down, the biggest difference, I think, in Muskogee's productivity offensively tonight from the first 2 weeks was the fact that they were able to get a ground game. And the ground game was their quarterback, Jamarian Ficklin, who's affectionately known to his teammates and Rougher fans as Bird. He flew flawlessly tonight. Let me tell you, he went 25 of 35 through the air for 335 yards and 3 touchdowns. Rushing the football, totaled 110 yards in stripes and scored twice, including the eventual 7-point game winner. And Muskogee, for the first time since 2016, finds itself 3-0 heading to an off week next week before beginning district play. Has some great individual performances defensively from the linebacking core, the defensive ends. Tion Brewer was a man-child, so was Vernon Pepiakada, a defensive tackle. Jaden Bell perhaps made the play of the night defensively for the Muskogee Roughers when Midwest City had scored, recovered an onside kick in the final 2 minutes, and was moving toward a potential game-tying touchdown. Bell leaps in front at knee level, stretches as far as he can, and takes the ball away from the intended target with an INT, allowing Muskogee to go into victory formation and get the 35-28 victory over Midwest City. Carl Albert. The Titans, for the first time in a long time, lose at home and drop to 1-2 on the year.
Well, Bill, if you weren't exhausted enough, tomorrow night you climb the stairs at Doc Wadley Stadium and you get Northeastern and Missouri Southern. So you got a busy weekend.
Well, I'm going to get some links once we get through with all the post-game deals that we do, and then I get home tonight sometime before sunrise, get in a few hours of sleep, and do a little quick prep and turn around and head over to Tahlequah to hopefully find Northeastern State with its first win of the year. But tonight, it was the Roughers. Offense, defense, overcoming penalties that could have killed drives, and still managing to walk away. I mean, they went on a 21-0 run after being down 14-7 to go up 28-14. Then it was 28-21. Then it was 35-21. And then got the big play from Bell to secure the win, 35-28 to go 3-0, like I said, for the first time since they went to the state semifinals in 2016.
Outstanding. Well, Bill, appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week.
Well, I'm going to tell you, the player of the game tonight from the Muskogee Roughers is a unanimous decision. Sophomore quarterback, Jamarian Ficklin, 445 yards of total offense and engineered all 5 scores.
Hey, Bill, I just want to say, to me, Bill, that was kind of like his coming out party, playing a team like Carl Albert, having that performance. For people that didn't know about the kid, they know now.
Well, what nobody had seen all year long was if Muskogee's quarterback, Jamarian Ficklin, could run the football. That gives you plenty more options. The discussions with the coaches between head coach Travis Hill and his offensive coordinator, Chris Reisenhuber, who spent 13 years as the head football coach at Stigler, they talked about it early on, and the question from Rise to Travis was, how much do you want to run him? And T. Hill's answer was very plain, as much as we need to.
Absolutely.
Well, they used it tonight to perfection. 110 yards on the ground, 335 through the air, all 5 scores. Ficklin had a part of it. This is a sophomore quarterback that has got big play potential written all over his future.
All right, Bill Huddleston, voice of the Muskogee Roughers. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
You bet. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, there he is. He's going to have a busy weekend, of course, with his drive home tonight. He's got Northeastern tomorrow. A big time for Bill Huddleston, of course, and he's in all this still covering teams for Vibe Magazine all over the place. So let's go back to our scoreboard. I know that our producer, Matt, is getting some people on the line here. A couple of Class A scores to pass along to you tonight. Minko beats Boone Apache tonight, 52-20. It was Wayne over Lexington, 55-16. Christian Heritage beats the OK Patriots, 19-0. Kansas over Fairland, 49-6. It was Helton beating Snyder tonight, 24-16. Gore beating Mounds, 55-21. Texoma beating Carnegie, 21-12. Salina over Shoto, 34-28. Crescent over Morrison, 18-7. Moreland over Pawnee. Pawnee over Moreland, 22-14 in the northwest part of the state. Ringling beats Marietta tonight, 58-0. Stratford beating Allen this evening, 49-7, and it was Shakota beating Haskell tonight, 39-29. Big game tonight between Chandler and Bristow, two big turnpike rivals. Tony Lugnut Wilson had the call while he wasn't manning his pizza truck this evening.
Sponsored by his pizza truck, right?
So the United Nations Pizza Company Chandler report is on now.
Hi, guys. How we doing?
Good, man.
Man, what a game in Bristow tonight. Wow. Lions with 6 turnovers and a victory. How does that happen, guys?
That's crazy.
Miracles?
Miracles, all right. I tell you what, it was a really tough fought ball game, and our defense showed up tonight, guys. I bet Bristow had at least 5 possessions inside the 20. They settled for 3 field goals out of that, and they just had that bend but don't break philosophy, and just, really proud of the way that they performed tonight, and Casman Hill, our all-everything running back, he got a concussion early in the second quarter, and he probably could have gone, but, no need at this point, non-district play. And so he rested the rest of the game, and everybody else stepped up and did exactly what they're supposed to do in spite of the 6 turnovers.
Well, I know that you guys had a big night tonight. Who was your player of the game?
Man, I tell you, Grant, our defense, I just have to give it to our entire defensive unit. Those guys just, Bristow's kind of tough to defend with that wing T offense. They got so many looks out of it, and our guys just fought all night. And then when they would get their backs against the wall, they would stiffen up on defense and, like I said, help Bristow to 3 field goals. And let me just tell you right now, I don't know who's good at field goal kicking in the state of Oklahoma. That kid from Bristow is good. He had a 53 and a 46, and they were good from further than that. But Lions win 23-16 in overtime, and we had an hour delay at halftime. We had a young lady that suffered some kind of hip injury that had to be taken to the hospital. So
was that the one in the band?
It was. She was one of the flag girls in the band.
Oh, wow.
So, nearly an hour delay there at halftime, and brought both teams off the field. So, for us to come back. But so really proud of our effort tonight. No Casman, he's the leader of the football team, and everybody responded without him. So that's what you got to do.
I don't think I don't think I've ever heard of a football game being delayed by the band, but that's.
I didn't have it either.
Well,
I mean, wish you the best, but wow.
I'd probably throw a hip twirl in the flag too, just to be honest. That's just,
well, I think she might have twirled it a little bit too hard, but she gave the thumbs up as she was on the stretcher being put in the back of the ambulance. And, of course, everybody applauded, that she's I told my buddy Brett that's with me, I told him, I said, is this Rod Tidwell and Jerry McGuire going on right here?
Oh, my goodness.
Wow. No, but she was truly hurt, but I'm thankful that they're getting her the attention she needs. And Lions move on. They got Poto coming next week, so it'll be a tough battle for the Lions next week.
Well, that's a big one. Poto lost to Metro Christian tonight, so you're getting them a little wounded.
Well, we're wounded too, but our kids exhausted themselves tonight, and it was again, just proud of how they, and like Brent and I talked, with 6 turnovers, you're going to expect that you're going to have a lot of adverse reactions. we didn't have that. We didn't have kids that got down, throw their helmets, or yell at each other, and they just picked each other up. You know, and that's the sign of what the Dale City coach is talking about. Control the things you can and just pick up your teammates. And you know, the culture's changed a lot. Started with Harold Burgess and Coach Jack Graham. Funny enough, when he was a senior, he and Brandon Cummings and A.J. Woodall that's on our staff, they played Clinton and had 6 turnovers and won.
Absolutely.
So,
Tony, we got to run. Appreciate you, man.
Hey, guys, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tony.
That is Tony Wilson joining us. Hang with us. More of the Prep Sports Post Game straight ahead on the Game Day Oklahoma Network.
When your health throws you a curveball, many times outpatient rehab is your best option. Aspen Health and Rehab in Broken Arrow is changing the way that Oklahoma families are thinking about long-term care. With every amenity of home, first-class dining, and professionals that put your care first, Aspen Health and Rehab is ready to take on your personalized plan of care. Check them out today at aspenhealthrehab.com. Aspen Health and Rehab, where healthcare and luxury come together.
Squirtle is Oklahoma's premium scoring app for high school sports statewide. Through Squirtle, not only can sports fans check their team's scores, rankings, district standings, and schedules, they can find state playoff brackets, chat live with a new chat forum, or use the new fan poll to pick individual game winners. Updates are rolling out regularly, keeping the app fresh and current. Know the score of games across Oklahoma. Download the Squirtle app now for free in the Apple or Android store. Always know the score with Squirtle. Dr. Matt Dieselhorst at Dieselhorst Sports and Orthopedics can help you get game day ready. Dr. Dieselhorst works with athletes of all ages, taking a coordinated approach to accelerate return to play and maximize athletic performance. His work with pros in sports training, injury prevention, bracing, functional rehabilitation, and imaging works seamlessly with his medical and surgical expertise. Get started by going to Dieselhorst Sports and Orthopedics. Let Dr. Matt Dieselhorst get you back on the field, backing all Oklahoma athletes on the field and off.
If you're a coach or athletic director, this message is for you. Legacy Entertainment has provided light and sound for Oklahoma's hottest concerts for years, but now they're helping schools just like yours elevate their game day atmosphere. From providing light and sound systems to coordinating your team's run-through with fog machines and the hottest elements out there, they'll make sure Friday nights are never the same again. They've helped schools like OU, and they'll help you too. Check them out at legacyllc.net. Legacy Entertainment, where every day is game day.
We want to see ya at Kalidi Kia.
Ooh, Corey, you've got gas. Sabi, if you smelt it, you dealt it. Corey, I beg your pardon? I do not have gas. I've got 11 Teslas, EV6s, Ioniqs, Rivian trucks, and the new Hummer EV. Oh, I do have gas. I have Trackhawks, 10 Hellcats, and even a Dodge Demon. If you want gas like Corey, Toledo Kia has the most muscle cars in the state. If you want to be silent but deadly like Sabi, we have more EVs than anyone. Corey, nobody beats Toledo Kia. Sabi, nobody.
Life is short, and if we spend our time suffering with pain and it takes away our joy, that's not a very good way to live.
He's right. It's hard to be happy when you're in constant pain. QC Kinetics patient Chad admits the chronic pain in his knee really robbed his quality of life.
When I was going to the traditional doctor and getting the pain pills, my smile wasn't as big as it usually is. Going to my high school reunion on crutches, it was awful.
But then Chad visited QC Kinetics. He experienced the real power behind natural regenerative treatments. Using healing properties from his own body, QC Kinetics was able to restore and repair damaged tissue, finally giving Chad lasting relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime.
And I'm feeling on top of the world because of QC Kinetics.
Learn how advanced regenerative medicine can help your body heal itself at QC Kinetics. Call now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 405-289-9662. That's 405-289-9662. 405-289-9662.
Does your disability make it harder to find a job?
Yes, absolutely.
DRS can help. DRS is Oklahoma Department of Rehabilitation Services.
DRS empowers job seekers with disabilities who really want to work. So employers like us really want to hire them. Now we're taxpayers. Contact DRS.
DRS can help.
Contact DRS 800-487-4042 or okdrs.gov.
Back here on the Prep Sports Post Game Day Oklahoma Network. Grant Merrill, Randy Heights along with you across the great state of Oklahoma. Back to the phone lines we go. He is the pregame host for Oklahoma State Cowboy Athletics. His big job, the voice of the Broken Arrow Tigers, Adam Dieselhorst, and of course the voice of the ORU Golden Eagles. He's just about checked off all the big programs in the state all at the same time. Adam, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are y'all this evening?
Well, we're good. Patriot/Blankenship Bowl commenced again tonight. Owasso and Broken Arrow. Your Tigers ended up getting edged by the Rams. It looked like just at the last minute. Kind of tell us how it ran down this evening.
Yeah, Owasso was up for the majority of the game and had a 14-point lead with 6 minutes to go. And then Broken Arrow kind of went into a 2-minute offense, went down and scored, got it within 7. Got a stop, got the ball back. It was actually 4th and 1 at about the 41 for Owasso at their own 41. Wasn't sure if they'd kick it or go for it. They ended up punting it. And so Broken Arrow got it back with about a minute left, went down the field and scored, and then elected to go for 2 to try to go for the win and came up a little short on the play. So ended up coming up a point shy. Didn't mind the decision to go for 2. The momentum was on their side at that point, and really, when you think about it, if your district record is 0-3 or 1-2, it really doesn't matter a whole lot in the end of things. So if you get that rep in a specific situation, that could pay dividends down the line. So just came up a tad short, but overall, it was a pretty darn good ball game.
It sounds like it. It's been a long time since Broken Arrow's been 0-3 to start a season. I know that's something that for Tiger fans may take a little getting used to, but if there's a team that has the capacity within them to bounce back, I know Broken Arrow has that as well.
Yeah, and we've seen improvement through each of the first 3 games. It has been a little hard to tell, in particular from week 1 to week 2, because you took a pretty good jump in level of opponent between Bentonville and then Union. And then, today they were obviously much, much closer. So it sounds a little bit like coach speak, which is easy because, I've got a coach in the broadcast booth with me who's done it, for years and years in the state of Oklahoma. But I do think you really are seeing improvement with this team. They've got a young quarterback. They've got young-ish playmakers as well. The defense seems to be starting to come together. And really, we talked about this after the Bentonville game, but it was a couple of big plays that got them again tonight. Just a couple of deep balls that were thrown down the side. And Mason Willingham, a ton of credit to him. He threw for well over 100 yards. He ran for over 100 yards tonight. And he's really having to carry this Owasso team right now as they kind of continue to figure out how to rebound from losing Cole Adams. So he played a big role in Owasso's win.
Adam, next up for Broken Arrow, who you got?
Bye week. And then, to be quite honest, I know we're going to the west side, but I don't remember exactly which opponent the week after that.
You're just focused on that bye week over there, aren't you?
I'll tell you this, bye week in the big classes, it's the main opponent next week as I'm looking through the schedule.
Yeah, and for a lot of these teams, especially you've seen all Owasso, Broken Arrow, Union, Jinx, Bixby. They've all played each other in the non-district portion of the schedule. Everybody needs a little bit of a break to heal up a little bit. So that that'll be good to have some teams get that bye week before they head into district play. But yeah, between the multiple broadcasting gigs and the wife and 4 kids at home, looking 2 weeks in advance is not really something that's generally on my agenda. So.
Outstanding. Adam, we'll talk to you in 2 weeks. Thanks.
All right, sounds good, fellas. Have a good night.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Prep Sports Post game.
KRXO FM and KRXO HD Oklahoma City, a product of Tyler Media. Vote the franchise your favorite station for sports. Tonight, in every part of our state, the games have been played and champions are being made. And we're covering every single matchup from GameDayOklahoma.com. This is the Prep Sports Postgame, presented by Aspen Health and Rehab. We're taking you all the way up to midnight as we check in with the state's leading coaches and broadcasters for reports on tonight's game. The Prep Sports Postgame is also brought to you by
Pike Pass and the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority, Billy Sims Barbecue, Rogers State University, Pioneer Cellular, NES, Oklahoma's #1 choice for Epson quality office products. By the Martinez Agency, the Cherokee Nation, Legacy Entertainment LLC, Dieselhorst Sports and Orthopedics, and by the Scoredle app, Oklahoma's source for real-time scores.
From Boise City to Broken Bow, from Miami to Mangum, here's Grant Merrill and Randy Heights as the Prep Sports postgame starts now.
Hour number 2 of the Prep Sports Post Game, live and in living color tonight on great radio stations like 107.7 The Franchise in Oklahoma City, our brand new Tulsa affiliate. It's week 2 for us on 1170 The Blitz, the 50,000-watt blowtorch that carries us from sea to shining sea. Our friends at KFPW in Fort Smith, KALV in Alva, Magic 95 in Lawton, just to name a few. We thank you wherever you're listening tonight. Let's go back to the phone lines. We got a full call board for the rest of the hour to take us right up until midnight. Very close game this evening between the Oologah Mustangs and the Claremore Zebras, and calling that for the blue and white was the one and only Brent Kellogg. How are you, sir?
Well, good, and it's an interesting score sheet tonight because you're pre-district play, so you've got 4As playing 5As, which was our case, and so not a lot of close games as we were kind of looking through scores tonight, but we were one of those that fell in that category. And guys, and I'm not calling Oologah football, I'm a pastor, and so I feel like a memory verse is proportionate tonight for the Mustangs. Luke 16:10 says, if you're faithful in the small things, you'll be faithful in the big things. And the small things really do matter, and that's just kind of what ate our lunch tonight. This is a Rogers County rivalry game. Little fun fact for you, back in the 90s, we used to sometimes play this game on Thursday night because a lot of the other Rogers County's teams wanted to come watch the Claremore-Oologah rivalry. So last year was a close game. Mustangs had to win or had to score late to win it, but we fell a little bit short this year. We were tied at 21 at half in the third quarter. Oologah had the momentum, and for some reason, Coach went for it for 2 and failed that 2-point conversion, and we just never could get caught up, and so time expired, and we just didn't get it done.
Well, after hearing that turn of events, I will also quote John 11:35. He wept. My God, yeah. My gosh.
Weeping and gnashing of teeth was a part of it as well. So we're still very optimistic. The Mustangs were a little better than we've been in the last couple of years, and our quarterback has just thrown some great passes. And our receivers really need to get some stickum on their gloves because even tonight we had some passes just kind of through their hands that would have changed things. Our running back Ashton Wright, he just shredded their offensive line tonight. He ran for 215 yards, had 2 touchdowns, and they ran like his legs were on fire. And our running game really was productive. We had 349 on the ground, and only had 97 of that was passing. So obviously it was true for Claremore. They were very effective with the screen game tonight. Eli Rogers had 5 catches for 155 yards. Big night for him as well. Penalties kind of shot us in the foot late.
Yeah, I understand. Well, it wasn't all losses for Oologah this week, as last night in 5 sets, Coach Abby Paya's Lady Mustangs ended up beating Mrs. Merrill's Edison Lady Eagles. So y'all do have a little bit to celebrate about, and I guess I have to buy you lunch Monday.
And I'll take you up on that. And we actually in softball this week had a 3-hour and 45-minute softball game on Tuesday night.
Wait, in softball?
3 hour, 45 minutes.
3 hours and 45. I was the PA guy for that one, and it's the game that never ended.
What were y'all playing? A nursing home team or what?
Oh my goodness! It was a district game, and playing Jay, and it.
Oh my goodness!
Mustangs got up on top of them early, but they were able to get some runs late. So Mustangs are off next week, and then we'll start district play in 2 weeks on the 23rd as Cleveland comes to town. We're ready. We're ready to play some 4As because the last 2 weeks we've been playing up in the 5A bracket. So.
Well, Brent, we will talk to you in 2 weeks. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Appreciate what you guys do.
All right.
Thanks.
That's Brent Kellogg, voice of the Oologah Mustangs.
It's kind of funny. He's talking about how Oologah's pretty good this year, he thinks again, but 2 weeks in a row, 5A, and it's been rough for him. You really start to see that difference. And Todd Lisenby was on earlier today. Blanchard's a good team tonight playing Piedmont. Just a little more depth from Piedmont, able to wear those smaller schools down because their rosters are a little bigger.
Well, bouncing back from a couple of tough weeks, Cashin's Wildcats ended up giving Thomas Terriers a run for their money tonight. Cashin 36, Thomas 14, and a man who is always at the Cashin games is Neiman Nabavi. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me on tonight. It's been a tough start to the year, but we got a good win tonight, and it was a nice rebound.
Well, give us the rundown. How did it come out, and how did you guys end up getting a 22-point win this evening?
Well, the new. You guys have been following the Cashin Wildcats back-to-back state champions. And, with Shaq, it's really more about reloading, right, and sort of rebuilding. But we've got a lot of kids that really haven't had a whole lot of, prime time opportunities. And so after getting a couple of beat downs from Rejoice, which that seems to be a theme lately, and Pahuska, the Wildcats, got out ahead. They have a new quarterback, Chance Acord, transfer in from Davenport. He's been steady. He's got a great arm, and he's learning to play with the team and with some new with his new friends in essence, his new teammates. And he was 15 for 26, 183, had a touchdown. Wildcats got out. They got out 14-0, 28-6 at half, and really kind of put it in the hands of the rushing game to kind of really fine tune it and get their first victory of the season.
All right, player of the game. Who is it, Nima?
Well, first of all, let me give a quick shout out to my man, Chris Gibson. He's my partner on the CWTV broadcast, Sue Squirtle. Chris does a great job. And, Chris, one of his keys was the run game and really kind of getting to a place where we had -1 yard rushing against Pahuska, and it was a theme for Shaq this week. And so while, we had great games from South Gilbert, 7 catches, 86 yards, Camden Maroney with 9 tackles. It's actually another Nabavi. I know Randy's probably chuckling. This time it's Nathan Nabavi, the 3 of the 5. Nathan had 33 carries, 201 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He was kind of the guy tonight. It's been running back by committee this year, and so Nathan was the guy called on tonight, and he put the team on his shoulders and took care of business. So he definitely was the guy of the night for the Cashin Wildcats.
Hey, Nima, it's amazing. It just seems like, you guys just keep producing them, throwing them out there, then they're Bobbies. You guys are rolling, but real fast as you get ready to move into district play here in a couple of weeks, how do you feel about this team as they get into that point after the tough non-district schedule?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great question. And Shaq doesn't shy away from anyone, right? Playing Rejoice and Pahuska, both 2A powerhouses. I know Pahuska had a tough loss tonight, but, it's about, continuous growth. Fantastic coaches. Coach Wood as a defensive coordinator is certainly, underrated. I think he deserves a lot more credit. And then you got Coach DL on the offensive line. And the brand image of Cashin has been slow and steady and positive growth throughout the season. And the expectation is that, take some licks, get beat up a little bit, learn from it, take the off week. We've got Minko here in a couple of weeks to start district play and get after it. And I think what you're going to see is a team that, a lot of folks will recognize and cash in towards the end of the season as they move into playoff time period. So district play will be tough. A lot of great teams hitting Minko, a lot of great folks within the district, but Cashin would be surprised if Cashin's not running on full cylinders towards the end of the season.
All right, Nima, appreciate it, and we'll talk to you here in 2 weeks.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Always a great opportunity, and thanks for all what you do for OK Preps.
Yes,
Thanks,
sir.
Nima.
Nima Nabavi, the voice of the Cashin Wildcat. He said he was on the CW broadcast. I almost thought he was like on between the Vampire Diaries and Everybody Hates Chris, but the wrong CW channel.
Wrong one. Yeah, no. I mean, probably right channel, just different. Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
A man who's always on the right channel, Josh Calloway, is the voice of the Newcastle Racers tonight. They were down at Plainview this evening. And, Josh, how are you this evening?
Doing pretty good. Another long road trip, and it was a late kick, 7:30 kick, and it was like a 3-hour game. So I've been on the road for like 10 minutes, so it's going to be a late night for me.
I was going to ask you, Josh, are you getting paid from Newcastle for mileage at this rate? I mean, I think you'd make more money that way based on your early road trips.
Gosh, I wish. I had an old job doing Chickasha Bassel where I did get paid by the mile. And so the long games are always like, yeah, let's do it. This is not that case, so it just hurts.
Well, give us the score, the rundown, and the player of the game real quick.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a good game tonight. Obviously, it's a weird matchup. I mean, you have Newcastle as a 4A squad. Plainview's in 3A. They had never met before in the regular season. And Plainview's got a good team and is a good 3A squad, so wasn't really sure what to expect going in. And the first quarter and a half, it was all Newcastle. I mean, they jumped out 16-0. It felt like they were going to blow them out of the water, quite honestly. But Plainview got a touchdown right before half to make it 16-6. Then they got another one early in the third, and all of a sudden you look up at 16-13. It's a big crowd at Plainview. They have really nice facilities out here as well. They were into it. The PA was pumping. All of a sudden it was like, oh, my gosh, look at all the momentum with the Indians all of a sudden. But Racers settled back down, put together a really good drive to take a touchdown and get the lead back up to 10, and they added one more in the final moment to kind of salt it away. But it got hairy there for about a half quarter or so. But really good win for Newcastle on the road, far away from home again against a good 3A team, 30-13 to get to 2-0. Player of the game, no doubt about it, Trey Burchett is a sophomore receiver and defensive back for Newcastle. Guys, I don't know if I've ever seen this. He had 4 picks tonight, 4 interceptions. He was absolutely everywhere. So without a doubt, he's the player of the game.
All right, Josh, next up for Newcastle. I think we lost
Woodward.
Josh. Well, Woodward.
Finally.
Okay. All right.
On Woodward next Friday, who's they've had a couple of rough ones, so Racers should be a pretty big favorite in that one.
There you go. Have another nice road trip, right, Josh?
There you go.
Yeah,
all right.
okay.
Thank you for being with us, Josh Calloway. We'll be right back.
When your health throws you a curveball, many times outpatient rehab is your best option. Aspen Health and Rehab in Broken Arrow is changing the way that Oklahoma families are thinking about long-term care. With every amenity of home, first-class dining, and professionals that put your care first, Aspen Health and Rehab is ready to take on your personalized plan of care. Check them out today at aspenhealthrehab.com. Aspen Health and Rehab, where healthcare and luxury come together.
Dr. Matt Dieselhorst at Dieselhorst Sports and Orthopedics can help you get game day ready. Dr. Dieselhorst works with athletes of all ages, taking a coordinated approach to accelerate return to play and maximize athletic performance. His work with pros in sports training, injury prevention, bracing, functional rehabilitation, and imaging works seamlessly with his medical and surgical expertise. Get started by going to Dieselhorst Sports and Orthopedics. Let Dr. Matt Dieselhorst get you back on the field, backing all Oklahoma athletes on the field and off.
If you're a coach or athletic director, this message is for you. Legacy Entertainment has provided light and sound for Oklahoma's hottest concerts for years, but now they're helping schools just like yours elevate their game day atmosphere. From providing light and sound systems to coordinating your team's run-through with fog machines and the hottest elements out there, they'll make sure Friday nights are never the same again. They've helped schools like OU, and they'll help you too. Check them out at legacyllc.net. Legacy Entertainment, where every day is game day.
Squirtle is Oklahoma's premium scoring app for high school sports statewide. Through Squirtle, not only can sports fans check their team's scores, rankings, district standings, and schedules, they can find state playoff brackets, chat live on the new chat forum, or use the new fan poll to pick individual game winners. Updates are rolling out regularly, keeping the app fresh and current. Know the score of games across Oklahoma. Download the Squirtle app now for free in the Apple or Android store. Always know the score with Squirtle.
The franchise.
I love how every bit of your young life is like a New Edition video. Like you just climbed over a damn fence, and then you and just like a group of other kids were like just doing stuff.
TV on the radio.
Kids in New Edition they just walked free all over Boston. No parental supervision ever. They're like the Peanuts.
There's a U at the end of that.
Charlie Brown, Lucy.
There's a U between not an I. There's U.
Yep. There's always an I. There's never a U. Anyway.
TV on the radio on 107.7 The Franchise.
Guys, remember how you felt in your 20s back when you had mojo? Well, look at you now. Hey, it's time to get your mojo back with FlexStack from Draper Family GNC. FlexStack has clinically tested Testofen and additional studied ingredients to rev up your natural energy, libido, and performance, transforming this to this. Visit a Draper Family GNC near you. Our newest location is in North OKC at Penn and Memorial next to Five Guys.
Pro Rodeo is at the Grady County Fairgrounds in Chickasha tonight and tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Watch the best in PRCA and WPRA compete. It's breast cancer awareness tonight, and tomorrow night is military appreciation with a concert by Avery Stinnett. Pro Rodeo in Chickasha tonight and tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Tickets are $12 at Ticketstorm.com or $15 at the gate. Brought to you by the people of Oklahoma Oil and Natural Gas.
At U.S. Cellular Prepaid, we're driving more value in prepaid. How? By lowering the price of our unlimited plan to only $50 a month and adding a free smartphone. Yep, you get unlimited data for the new lower price of just $50 a month, plus your choice of a free Samsung A13 or Moto G Pure smartphone. Lowering what you pay while adding to what you get, that's how we deliver unmatched value. Get more for less at U.S. Cellular Prepaid. Terms apply. See uscellular.com for details.
back here on the Prep Sports Post Game on the Game Day Oklahoma Network. Grant Merrill, Randy Heitz along with you. Week number 2, our third show officially since we did go during week 0.
We went 0 week.
We're just trying to figure out who we're going to talk to next week during the bye week. Because,
I'm looking through the big schools, Grant. Combined between Class 6A 1 and 2, which, Squirtle, some of those are crossed over.
Right.
There's 11 games listed.
I know it. It's crazy. Back to the phone lines we go. One of the voices of Alva Goldbug Sports on Squirtle TV and on 105.7 KRDR is the one and only, the Right Reverend Chris Ruwalt of Alva First Baptist Church. How are you, sir?
Gentlemen, Grant, good to see you.
Hey, Chris.
You.
Well, you finally answered your phone, so we could get you on this year.
I was thinking tonight before that game kicked off, I thought, man, I don't know if Grant's going to call me this year.
Yeah, we'll always call you.
Oh, yeah.
We'll always call you. If anything, we'll call you after tomorrow to rub in an SEC win over Texas, but that's a whole nother issue. So
yeah, I'm not addressing that. Trying to bait me into something, and I'm not going to take the bait.
Yeah, you're probably wise on that.
Yeah, the first 2 weeks for the Goldbugs, they had the heartbreaking loss to Purcell in the 0 week, and then last week, of course, they come out and they beat Thomas. And but when I finally get a chance to talk to you, I got to talk to you about a crushing defeat to the Fairview Yellow Jackets.
Well, I know those trips to Fairview can sometimes result in results you don't want, and tonight was one of those nights. Kind of give me the rundown on Fairview and Alva and what it looked like, and what next week looks like for you guys.
Well, of course, next week we have the bye, but coming out of the bye, we get to go to Millwood. So that'll be fun. But yeah, so with Alva this year, you got a new quarterback, you got a new offensive system, you don't have any seniors on the offensive line. And so we went to Fairview. Fairview's ranked pretty high in Class A. I saw where they're ranked number 2 in one poll and number 3 in another. And I'm telling you, fellas, they are legit good. That quarterback they've got, that guy is something else. They've got a strong running game. They're physical up front. Defensively, they're physical, and they just really took it to us. They come out on their opening drive. Alva gets into a 3rd and 16, and the quarterback has like a 73-yard touchdown run. And the Goldbugs were just, hey, it's just one of those games where, the Bugs were just overmatched.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to. They couldn't, we couldn't move the ball. The Goldbugs have gone to more of a flex bone kind of an offense. It kind of reminds me of what Jim Wacker used to run back at TCU in the old Southwest Conference.
Right.
Back in your day, Grant.
Oh,
and,
man.
Back in the 80s.
Well,
yeah.
Well, give us a player of the game for the Bugs tonight.
Well, we had to go with sophomore fullback Lance Mathers. I mean, he was pretty much the offense for the Bucs tonight. I think Lance had something like 123 yards from scrimmage, and the rest of the Goldbugs combined, I think, might have had 90.
Wow.
And so we went with sophomore Lance Mathers.
All right, and next up for Alva, who you got?
Well, we got Millwood. We'll get the bye week next week, and then we get to go to the city and play the Falcons, and that's going to be a good test for the Goldbugs, this young Goldbug team.
Well, if your Longhorns pull it off tomorrow, I will drive to Alva myself and buy you a Gambino's pizza on Oklahoma Boulevard.
I'll take that. And, don't forget services, Grant. I always save you a seat at the church there at the First Baptist Church of Alva.
Make sure it's on the back row. That's where I'm most comfortable. So.
Absolutely, brother.
All right. Appreciate you, brother. Chris Ruwalt. He's the one of the voices, along with Craig Kilman of Alva Goldbugs football.
What's Gambino's?
Gambino's is one of the greatest pizza places in the history of chain pizza places.
It's a chain?
It's limited to mainly southern Kansas and northern Oklahoma. And for some reason, they have one location at the water park in Tulsa, but it's pretty good stuff.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
Good to know.
And I'll eat at Gambino's just about any time. So Anyway, next up on the phone lines, let's go to Cushing, KUSH 1600, the great voice of sports in that area, Hugh Foley, joining us. How are you, sir?
Very well. Thanks, fellas. How are y'all doing tonight?
Well,
good, man.
We are doing great. Cushing with a big win over Perkins Tryon tonight, 43-27. I listened to the other side of that ball game a little bit on the way down the turnpike this evening. It sounded like it was exciting at first, and then Cushing kind of pulled away.
Well, what really slowed everything down was the penalties tonight. I wound up having to check to see what the record for penalties was nationwide. And
one of those nights, huh?
And it sure was, which dragged the game out to 3 hours plus. But it sounds like we're not the only ones who had a 3-hour game tonight. And our coach, Rusty Morgan, will attribute part of that to youth. A lot of false starts, and then what we might call effort play penalties, where you're trying really hard, but maybe you're trying too hard. And so a late hit, a face mask, that kind of thing. And while the penalties were not the complete story of the game, it did completely change the pace of the game. And so Perkins did stay with Cushing for a little while. Cushing did start to pull ahead. It was 30-7 at one point, and then Perkins started to come back in the second half, 30-14, 37-14, and 37-21. And then Cushing scored again, which helped them finally, pull ahead for good. Blaze Berlowitz had 4 touchdown passes, 3 of which were to Camden Crooks, and we've seen that connection between those two young men for 3, almost 4 years now. Lane Yawn also caught one of those passes. Of course, this was the Battle of Highway 33, they call it. There's only 16 miles between Perkins and Cushing. So a lot of these kids have grown up their whole athletic lives playing each other. And so while there's a class difference and school size difference, Cushing 4A, Perkins 3A this year, they know each other. And as a result of that, it's a real scrappy, tough game. Perkins Tryon has a real run game. And I think teams are going to have to deal with that as the season goes on. But the 3-hour game wore the kids out. You could tell by the fourth quarter, a lot of walking around, not as good pursuit, that kind of thing. But game 2, we'll take it. It's a win, 2-0. We do have a game next week with Berry Hill at home. And then, of course, district starts, and we'll all be talking about that 2 weeks from now when we go up to Miami for the first time in a long time. The Tigers will play the War Dogs. So we got a lot of good football coming up. Tonight's game, a lot of connections between Berlowitz and Crooks, and we'll see more of that as the season goes on. If I'm picking a player of the game, on one side, I want to go with Blaze Berlowitz because he just threw well tonight. But Riley Matheson is an outstanding defensive player, and he really put some pops on those strong Perkins running backs tonight. And so I'm going to go with Riley Matheson. And that's kind of where we stand.
All right. Hugh Foley joining us tonight. Appreciate you being with us. And we will talk to you next week for sure. We will badly need your call since there's only
fellas.
4 games in the state.
I'll look forward to talking with you next week about the Berry Hill Cushing final non-district game as we do our last tune-up for district competition and the rest of the season.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Hugh Foley joining us from KUSH 1600. There's 16 miles between Cushing and Perkins and 15 speed traps, by the way.
That's every little town in Oklahoma. But hey, I thought I'd update you. You know, I was going through the next week's games.
Yes.
How many games usually on 3A list? About like 20, it seems like.
Right.
There's 9.
Did we find a game of the week for our flagship station yet?
No, I just think I'm going to try to do Guthrie at Tuttle, but now I got to try to call the ADA and get in there. So if you're listening out there, franchise would love to be at Tuttle next week.
Well, the next caller might be able to help you with that. That would be the voice of Tuttle, Chase Horsley, who has finally gotten on the line with us tonight. He needed some rest after that 61-41 beating that Tuttle put on Noble this evening. How are you, Mr. Horsley?
I'm doing well. I do apologize. I got to my next job and started DJing and had to jump back off and jump outside. But
are you spinning the vinyl tonight?
So, I mean, I'm a backup DJ as well up here at Cowboys OKC. And so we had the bull rides. And so the main DJ goes and does the announcing. And then I do the music. And, you know, I do weddings and stuff like that. So,
And you talk to girls who don't know where they are who want to make requests, right?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, of course.
There you go.
Well, I know how they like men with long flowing hair. You'll fit right in, Chase Horsley. So, Well,
Thanks, I appreciate that.
Give us the rundown on Tuttle and Noble tonight.
Oh, man, where do I start? It was such a good game. Definitely on the side of the Tuttle Tigers. I mean, everything was going their way from the very beginning. I mean, they kept on scoring. I mean, their first drive, they just went down there, they scored. And then here comes Noble. They're down there, they're scoring. They go down in their first drive, they score. So you're like, okay, you know, this game's going to be a head-to-head type matchup. No, Tuttle literally just absolutely came out of the gates and fired. Brady McAdoo, who is definitely our player of the game, had 6 touchdowns and over 200 yards rushing. Absolutely a phenomenal game for Brady McAdoo. You know, and then also if you look at Mason Dennis, I mean, a different style quarterback that you've seen from in the past. I mean, he's played for the past 2 years. I mean, his passing is all on point. The Tuttle Tiger defense was absolutely amazing. But then giving credit over to Noble on where it's due. I mean, Fisher, a great stout quarterback. He found ways to get his team back into the game. I mean, Tuttle was up 35-13 going into the second half. So, I mean, already, you know, they were down, so Fisher had to find ways to get it. Fisher did get hurt later in the third quarter, or around there in the fourth quarter. But he ended up coming back, and then they ended up putting their backup in, but then they pulled Fisher back out later in the fourth and just kept their backup in. But it was a good game, you know, the first time these two teams have ever clashed together. So it was exciting to see. And I did hear that you guys are, you know, trying to get that game of the week. I'm going to let you know, space is kind of tight. So unless Guthrie doesn't have like a station or whatever, I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm sitting outside in the stands with a couple of fans. And, you know, I mean, a lot of times, you know, the fans will listen. And so a lot of times they'll come up and they'll give you feedback and stuff. We actually had 3 or 4 fans come up and be like, man, y'all sounded awesome tonight.
Well, good.
It's like, wow, we appreciate that.
Well,
but yeah, we're right up there.
We
used to being outside. So.
we will tell you that TV's Jerry expects only the best when he rolls into a stadium. So no matter what he expects, give him the opposite. So,
right.
All right. Well, Chase Horsley, thanks for being with us tonight.
Of course. Thanks for having me again, and looking forward to next week.
All right, Bryson Colwell's on hold. We're going to go to him after the break, as we've got about a minute left, and I want to talk to him about Ardmore and Shawnee. A couple of Class B football scores tonight. Waletka over Pioneer Pleasantville, 46-8 tonight. Southwest Covenant beats Alec 36-8. It was Buffalo over Beaver, 40-0. Oaks beats Purim, 46-16. Barnsdall over Summit Christian, 44-42. Cyril over Mountain View Gotebo, 36-12. Tipton beats Central Marlowe, 52-14 tonight. Regent Prep over Davenport, 42-0. Boise City goes to Turpin. They fall 51-6. Wacomas falling to Timberlake, 46-0. Welch over Life Christian, 54-0. 60-14. Oklahoma Bible beating Yale tonight. Sealing beating Laverne, 40-38. Ringwood falling to Covington Douglas, 26-12. Wilson beating Ryan, or falling to Ryan, 32-26. And Olive falls to Wilson, 40-8. Hang with us. When we come back, we'll talk Ardmore and Shawnee with Bryson Colwell, Barry Lewis coming up as well. This is the Prep Sports Post Game.
Dr. Matt Dieselhorst at Dieselhorst Sports and Orthopedics can help you get game day ready. Dr. Dieselhorst works with athletes of all ages, taking a coordinated approach to accelerate return to play and maximize athletic performance. His work with pros in sports training, injury prevention, bracing, functional rehabilitation, and imaging works seamlessly with his medical and surgical expertise. Get started by going to Dieselhorst Sports and Orthopedics. Let Dr. Matt Dieselhorst get you back on the field, backing all Oklahoma athletes on the field and off.
When your health throws you a curveball, many times outpatient rehab is your best option. Aspen Health and Rehab in Broken Arrow is changing the way that Oklahoma families are thinking about long-term care. With every amenity of home, first-class dining, and professionals that put your care first, Aspen Health and Rehab is ready to take on your personalized plan of care. Check them out today at aspenhealthrehab.com. Aspen Health and Rehab, where healthcare and luxury come together.
If you're a coach or athletic director, this message is for you. Legacy Entertainment has provided light and sound for Oklahoma's hottest concerts for years, but now they're helping schools just like yours elevate their game day atmosphere. From providing light and sound systems to coordinating your team's run-through with fog machines and the hottest elements out there, they'll make sure Friday nights are never the same again. They've helped schools like OU, and they'll help you too. Check them out at legacyllc.net. Legacy Entertainment, where every day is game day.
Squirtle is Oklahoma's premium scoring app for high school sports statewide. Through Squirtle, not only can sports fans check their team's scores, rankings, district standings, and schedules, they can find state playoff brackets, chat live with a new chat forum, or use the new fan poll to pick individual game winners. Updates are rolling out regularly, keeping the app fresh and current. Know the score of games across Oklahoma. Download the Squirtle app now for free in the Apple or Android store. Always know the score with Squirtle.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. It paid for me to be the first person in my family to go to school. That education got me to the first day at my dream job, which I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job and the home loan benefits I got from the Army National Guard helped me buy my first house. I also know that I will be one of the first to respond if my community ever needs me.
Sponsored by the Oklahoma Army National Guard. Aired by the Oklahoma Association of Broadcasters and this station.
It's time to power on, Oklahoma. Your best warranty is here. 7 years or 100,000 miles on every Merit Gold certified vehicle. Get the quality and features of new for the price of used. Every Merit Gold vehicle passes a rigorous 106-point inspection and is backed by our 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Plus, 24/7 roadside assistance and Carfax history. Get more with Merit. 5 locations in Duncan, Chickasha, and Fairview. Online at meritauto.com.
Ken Boyer is everywhere. When a loved one has stumbled and ends up in jail, call Ken Boyer to make the bail. For immediate bonding day or night, look no further than Ken Boyer Bail Bonds. With over 35 years experience, let Ken and his professional staff help you. Open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, accepting all major credit cards. Conveniently located just 3 blocks north of the jail at the corner of Northwest 6th and Chartel. The right bondsman can make a difference. Call Ken Boyer Bail Bonds.
Our state is a wonderful place for motorcycle riding. From the over 400 miles of Route 66 to the scenic hills of southeastern Oklahoma and all the historical places in between. Oklahoma has over 126,000 motorcyclists registered, and many of these riders could be someone you know. Even with this amount, there are more cars and trucks on the highway, and many don't recognize a motorcycle. So please, when you're driving, keep a safe distance. Check twice for us. Hear us, see us, share the road with us. This message brought to you by Abate of Oklahoma, making Oklahoma a safe place to ride motorcycles through legislation.
On radio stations across the state and simulcast on Squirtle TV, this is the Prep Sports Post Game on the Game Day Oklahoma Network. I'm Grant Merrill. He is Randy Heights. It's 11:34, and we appreciate you being with us across the state and across the world, wherever you are. Let's go back to the phone lines. Ardmore's Tigers on the road to Shawnee tonight. The voice of the Tigers on the big station, 97.7. Bryson Colwell joining us this evening. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. I hope I don't lose you, Grant. We're somewhere between Shawnee and Sulphur. So it's dark. I know that.
Well, anyway, sulfur's an old Chickasaw word for bad cell phone service. So.
Yeah, that's what I hear. But, hey, no, it was a great game by the Tigers. They came out on fire. It was 14-0 at halftime. They came out their first possession of the second half, put it in the end zone. Shawnee, their little sophomore quarterback, had a great night. He played until the fourth quarter. I hope he's okay. He came out with an injury. A touchdown in the third quarter.
We might have lost him.
Oh,
there he is.
There we go. I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, 21-7 for a while, then 28. Ardmore got the W, headed into the bye week.
Who's your player of the game tonight, Bryson?
The Division I commit to the University of Illinois, Cal Swanson. He was 16 for 20.
Sounds like a good night.
Well, we got Bryson, the player of the game out of him.
We didn't even get to ask him where they ate tonight. They always find a restaurant.
They always find a way. If there's good food to be found in the great state of Oklahoma, I can promise you Bryson Colwell is going to find it.
We'll find it next time.
Yeah, we'll talk to him in 2 weeks. That's for sure. All right, let's go to eastern Oklahoma. The Sequoia County shootout tonight between the Muldrow Bulldogs and the Sallisaw Black Diamonds. And from the Mix 105.1, the great voice of sports in the eastern half of the state is Justin Pettit. How are you, brother?
Oh, way past my bedtime, Grant, but, Friday nights are that way. Other than that, doing well.
You took in a Toronto Blue Jays game last week. You were up until at least 3 o'clock that morning, I know. So this is nothing.
No, that's vacation hours.
Well, I know it's always a good game when Sallisaw and Muldrow get together. Give us the rundown on the Bulldogs and their win tonight. And are we going to see Sallisaw struggle again to start the season?
Well, it's hard to say. Sallisaw had the off week. They got a new coaching staff. They got a bunch of seniors, but the guys are playing in different positions. But let me tell you something. The Muldrow Bulldogs are really good. They got a really big offensive line. They got a pretty good quarterback in Cam Matthews, a nice fullback in Eli Crumline. But if you guys don't know who Trendon Collins is, you better pay attention. This young man, we thought he was going to be a star in basketball. He is. He's a state champion high jumper. But the young man, all he does is score touchdowns. I think he had 4 tonight total. So I think he's averaging about 3 or 4 a game. Every time he touches the ball, he's electric. If you're not familiar, the Collins family, of course, the dad, Terry, played at OSU basketball. He was up there.
Right.
Those Eddie Sutton teams. The sister, Taylon, is playing at OSU, and the Lady Lady Cowgirls team. So Trendon Collins and the Muldrow Bulldogs, Cam Matthews, Coach Ellis in his second year has got Muldrow rolling. Man, they are 3-0. They head down to Spiro next week. And Sallisaw, man, it doesn't get any easier. They got to take that trip up to Cherokee County to take on Tahlequah. And Coach Hudson in his first year is the good thing with Sallisaw, the talent's there, everything's there. It's just a gauntlet of a schedule, and who would have thought that Muldrow would be this good this early? But they are just, they really are. Muldrow is really good, and I really think, they're in a tough district. Lincoln Christian's in there, Stigler's in there, Berry Hill. So we'll see what Muldrow can do. But Sallisaw, it's there. I just think they're just going to have to be patient, give it some time, and I think everything will be all right.
Well, Muldrow, my dad's alma mater, beat Sallisaw, my mom's alma mater tonight. So if they hadn't already gotten divorced, there would be more stress in our household, guaranteed. So anyway, well, brother, I appreciate you, Justin. Where's the mixed microphone next week?
I think we're going to go down to LaFleur County and cover the 2-0 Spiro Bulldogs and the 3-0 Muldrow Bulldogs. Of course, Spiro took care of Pacola tonight. That was kind of an upset. So, I think we're going to just take the short trip down, 20 minutes or so, and do some Battle of the Bulldogs.
Well, since that's one of only 4 games being played in Oklahoma next week, we'll try to call you a lot earlier in the program so you can go to bed.
All right. Hey, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
All right. Justin Pettit from the Mix 105.1 over in eastern Oklahoma. We will stay in Sequoia County tonight. Our man about the football season, Hunter Shepard, joining us. He, of course, covered Sallisaw Central taking on the Warner Eagles tonight. Hunter, how are you, bud?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Well, we're doing well. You've been all over the place lately. You ended up in Sequoia County tonight. Give us the rundown on Central and Warner.
Well, so the game ended with Warner getting the win 28-7, and I know right around half it was 20-7 and stayed that way for the longest time. And I know Warner really got it going in the ground game. Quarterback Jace Jackson was getting it going. Came out in the second half, but they kept it going with their backups and their running back. And that was pretty much the key in this game. Warner got them with the ground game. And Central, like I said, I didn't really know a whole lot on either team going into this game, but I did notice Warner was heavily using the run game to their advantage in this one in the 28-7 victory.
Hunter, who's your player of the game tonight?
Well, I actually have a couple players of the game. It would probably be a tie between Warner quarterback Chase Jackson and Warner running back Preston Canning. Both had a pretty good game on the ground because, like I said, even after Jackson went down in the second half, Preston Canning picked it up and where he left off, and that was pretty much the key, was getting the ground game going tonight.
All right, where are you at next week, Hunter? Have you decided?
Well, I will be back home next week. Homecoming game for my alma mater as they will take on Keota.
All right. Well, it's Borum and Keota, so we will be calling you, and we hope to talk to you next week.
Hey, anytime you guys need me on, I'm honored.
All right, brother. Appreciate you. He is the Cool Dude 52 on Twitter. Follow him for the best coverage of high school sports in eastern Oklahoma. Let's go up to Green Country. Another legendary sports journalist who joins us each and every week is the one and only Barry Lewis of the Tulsa World. How are you, sir?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm going to assume that you were probably at the Backyard Bowl tonight.
Yes, I was, and it was quite an interesting night.
Well, did you ever think that it would end up being 38-3 in that high-stakes ball game?
Well, I actually predicted earlier that although you can never, you always need to expect the unexpected in this game because of all the great finishes throughout the years. I thought that it was going because of Jenks having so many players sidelined. I thought that it would be similar to last week for Union, to last week's game against Broken Arrow, where they'd win like 28-7, and so it pretty well followed that script. Although Jenks made it very interesting for a little more than a half, for about 2.5 quarters, almost 3 quarters actually. Union didn't really break it open until late in the third quarter. In fact, Jenks led until late in the first half, 3-0, and then Union, it just snowballed on Jenks after that. Union took control, and they wound up being dominant in all phases of the game.
Barry, we asked Rick Corey this earlier, but kind of give me your thoughts on Shaker Reisig's return to Allen Trimble Stadium. How was he treated tonight?
Well, it was actually at Union.
Oh, yeah.
So, next year.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I for some reason thought it was Jay. Now that I'm in the studio here, I don't know who's playing where. So
it would have been natural because they played this game at Union last year. So you would have thought, well, if they kept on alternating, it would have been at this year. Mm-hmm. But that's not the way it worked out. It was at Union for the second consecutive year. But it was a great atmosphere, capacity crowd of 10,000. The Jenks fans showed up in full force, and it was quite an atmosphere.
Well, I know that the other big game of the Big Four in Tulsa, of course, Broken Arrow and Owasso meeting in the Patriot/Blankenship Bowl, and Owasso getting that last-minute 27-26 win, and Broken Arrow for the first time in quite a while starting out 0-3 on the season. So it's kind of a different time for Tiger fans, and really Owasso not used to being 1-2 to get things started.
Yes, but 1-2 really looks good to them now, as opposed to what 0-3.
Oh, sure.
The one play down the stretch in the game tonight, of course, on the 2-point conversion that was decisive. So yeah, I mean, to me, you go in, especially to your bye week, you go into district play at 1-2 instead of 0-3. I think that's pretty huge, so, especially with all the adversity Owasso has faced early in the season, losing 2 of their top players for the season. So. It was a big-time win for Owasso tonight.
What are some of the other big games we're going to read about in the Tulsa World in the morning?
Rejoice Christian, in a game that shocked me, and not necessarily who won, but just by the margin. Rejoice Christian crushing Eggs.
Yeah.
And 2 of the top 3 teams in 2A. I mean, I thought Rejoice would win. I thought it would be a down to the wire, like 48-44 type of game.
Right.
Not total blowout. So that was quite eye-opener. So Rejoice Christian is for real. Chance Wilson is amazing. And Rejoice Christian definitely looks like a strong state title contender in 2A.
All right, Barry, we'll talk to you next week. Thank you.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Barry Lewis, Tulsa World. Read all about it tomorrow in tomorrow morning's issue. Let's go over to Putnam City Original, where Coach Carter Whitson joins us. He reached out to us through a third party, Edward Radosevich, and
helping us out.
Made his way onto the show tonight. Coach Whitson, we appreciate you being here.
I believe it's Sir Edward. I think that's how he likes to be pronounced.
It is he, Sir Edward. Yes, you're absolutely correct.
Carter, you've been there now at Putnam City a couple of years and get a big victory tonight. Kind of talk about what this process has been like to get to this point tonight, starting to get the thing on track.
Yeah, it has been a process. That's a great way to describe it. I took over a job that was 1-19 the 2 years previous to when I got there, and we were in 6A1 for my first 2 years and had enough success to feel like we've built ourselves to where we were ready for a run. So building those 2 years has been really a challenge, and the kids have bought in, and the kids are phenomenal. And now we go down to 6A2 and feel like we've really got a chance to make a run at things. So it's been a big-time challenge for 2 years, and I scheduled some really big-time games pre-district to get ourselves ready to make a run at this year.
Putnam City 37, Putnam City West 8. Who was your player of the game tonight?
I've got a stud DN, Tajay McCoy, who's our kid that's getting recruited by everybody, and everybody that's not probably doesn't know what they're doing. He made every play you could make on defense. He blocked a punt for a safety. He's getting on the field on offense, plays some tight end. He's just a big-time player, great senior. Does everything right. So he was kind of our guy tonight. As he goes, we'll kind of go this year.
Next week for Putnam City.
We're off, and we need it. I heard you talking to Bill earlier, and with Muskogee, those guys are phenomenal right now, man. They are. Travis has done a great job over at Muskogee early in the season, and we opened up with McGinnis, and Coach Pierce does a great job there. So we scheduled two big-time opponents and had a rivalry game in PC West this week. So we need a little break, and we're going to take it. Going into District 1 and 2, kind of like Owasso, we'll take our lumps and get better from them, and getting into District with a little momentum's nice.
Coach, enjoy the rest. We'll talk to you in 2 weeks, and we'll be right back on the Prep Sports Postgame.
When your health throws you a curveball, many times outpatient rehab is your best option. Aspen Health and Rehab in Broken Arrow is changing the way that Oklahoma families are thinking about long-term care. With every amenity of home, first-class dining, and professionals that put your care first, Aspen Health and Rehab is ready to take on your personalized plan of care. Check them out today at aspenhealthrehab.com. Aspen Health and Rehab, where healthcare and luxury come together.
Squirtle is Oklahoma's premium scoring app for high school sports statewide. Through Squirtle, not only can sports fans check their team's scores, rankings, district standings, and schedules, they can find state playoff brackets, chat live with a new chat forum, or use the new fan poll to pick individual game winners. Updates are rolling out regularly, keeping the app fresh and current. Know the score of games across Oklahoma. Download the Squirtle app now for free in the Apple or Android store. Always know the score with Squirtle. Dr. Matt Dieselhorst at Dieselhorst Sports and Orthopedics can help you get game day ready. Dr. Dieselhorst works with athletes of all ages, taking a coordinated approach to accelerate return to play and maximize athletic performance. His work with pros in sports training, injury prevention, bracing, functional rehabilitation, and imaging works seamlessly with his medical and surgical expertise. Get started by going to Dieselhorst Sports and Orthopedics. Let Dr. Matt Dieselhorst get you back on the field, backing all Oklahoma athletes on the field and off.
If you're a coach or athletic director, this message is for you. Legacy Entertainment has provided light and sound for Oklahoma's hottest concerts for years, but now they're helping schools just like yours elevate their game day atmosphere. From providing light and sound systems to coordinating your team's run-through with fog machines and the hottest elements out there, they'll make sure Friday nights are never the same again. They've helped schools like OU, and they'll help you too. Check them out at legacyllc.net. Legacy Entertainment, where every day is game day.
We want to see ya at Kalidi Kia.
Ooh, Corey, you've got gas.
Sabi, if you smelt it, you dealt it.
Corey, I beg your pardon? I do not have gas. I've got 11 Teslas, EV6s, Ionics, Rivian trucks, and the new Hummer EV.
Oh, I do have gas. I have Trackhawks, 10 Hellcats, and even a Dodge Demon.
If you want gas like Corey, Toledo Kia has the most muscle cars in the state.
If you want to be silent but deadly like Sabi, we have more EVs than anyone.
Corey, nobody beats Toledo Kia.
Sabi, nobody.
The Choctaw have always been a people on the move, from traditional dances to the game of stickball. While we still proudly celebrate our heritage, today the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma promotes upward movement. Through employment and career development, we encourage physical activity and healthy lifestyles through our wellness centers and health clinics, and we support educational growth through schools, scholarships, and grants. Together, we move forward, because together, we're more.
Automobile and motorcycle accidents happen every day, and drivers are more distracted than ever. Your chance of an accident has never been higher. For more than 40 years, the Broadway Clinic Accident Care Center has treated Oklahomans injured in accidents. They offer physical therapy, medical and chiropractic care, and their pharmacy, all at no out-of-pocket expense to you. Broadway Clinic handles any injury from mild sprains to complicated surgeries. If you were injured in an accident, trust your treatment to the best. Trust the Broadway Clinic Accident Care Center.
At U.S. Cellular Prepaid, we bring you unmatched value even with our new lowest price plan. Just $25 a month gets you 2 gigs of data plus hotspot access to keep all your devices connected for less. That's right, just $25 a month gets you 2 gigs of data plus hotspot access plus unlimited talk and text. Staying connected for just $25 a month? Now that is unmatched value. Get more for less at U.S. Cellular Prepaid. Terms apply. See uscellular.com for details.
Final segment of the Prep Sports Post Game on the Game Day Oklahoma Network. Grant Merrill, Randy Heights, thank you for being with us as we take you all the way up to midnight. Well, this woman just can't keep a job. Last week she was with the Stillwater News Press, and this week she's with the Oklahoman. We're not
at
sure.
At least we have the right job this time.
Right. We're not sure where she'll be next week, but Hallie Hart joins us, and it's always a pleasure. She's one of our favorites. How are you?
Thank you. I am doing well. What about you?
Well, we're doing great. We're just glad you're here. You had Del City and Midwest City, it sounds like, tonight. First of all, how was your first week at the state's flagship newspaper?
It was great. I'm so happy to be here, and all the people I'm working with are amazing. So it's been a great first week. Thank you for asking.
Well, on my TV show earlier this week, we had Kelly Hines. She was one of our guests up at Tulsa, and I said, hey, you know Hallie, don't you? I said, she comes on our show all the time, and we both agreed that you probably have more energy than any of our guests. So we're always happy to have you.
Well, thank you. I hope that's a good thing. I guess I can be pretty peppy sometimes, but hopefully that's good.
It's a great thing.
That's
Hallie.
a great thing at midnight, I guarantee you. So,
hey, as I say, Hallie, you had a real good game. I mean, interesting game in the sense of a rivalry, Midwest City, Del City, but Del City flexing a little muscle tonight.
Yes, for sure. So Del City really proved itself as a dominant team with that 41-0 victory against Midwest City. And it was interesting because going into this game, I'll be honest, I expected Del City to win this game, but for it to be a shutout victory, that was maybe something that was maybe a little bit surprising. But at the same time, the Eagles are really having a strong start to this season with wins against Choctaw, Booker T. Washington, and now then this victory against Midwest City. So I think some of what stood out about this game, you had obviously DeKalen Godwin, who was the quarterback, was leading the way on offense, but Kenigel Thomas, the Kansas State commit, he had 3 receptions for 75 yards and 2 touchdown receptions, 1 for 29 and 1 for 40. So that really fueled the offense. And then, man, Del City's defense set the tone really early, stuffing Midwest City with 3 and outs. So the first 3 drives were 3 and outs. So it's kind of just the combination. They really put everything together for a dominant win tonight.
Hallie, Coach Robert Jones joined us in the 10 o'clock hour, and you can really tell every time we've talked to him this year, I just walk away from the conversation thinking, man, this guy has set the tone, and these kids have just really got the buy-in going. Is that kind of the way that you are seeing things at Del City?
Yes, that is the way I'm seeing things. I think they're all kind of set on becoming one of the programs that people do view as a dominant program. In OSU. Or, sorry, I said OSU.
That's all right. Old habits die hard.
Oh my gosh. In OK Preps football, man, I'm gonna balance all that stuff. In OK Preps football, they have their motto that they go by with commitment, discipline, effort, pride, toughness. And so that's really something that they've had on their jerseys and something that he mentioned tonight that they're really trying to stick with for the whole season. So I think kind of just having those words and those values that they're trying to live by is something that he can use to really rally the team. And when I talked to Kenigel Thomas and Jaden Foreman, who is an Oklahoma State commit tonight, they were both really buying into that message and really kind of an all-in, everybody counts, everybody contributes type attitude this season.
Hallie, what are some of the other games we're going to read about in the Oklahoman in the morning?
So James Jackson was out at Deer Creek Mustang, and that was a bit of a closer game. Deer Creek ended up pulling that one out, but that one sounds exciting. And then Nick Sardis was at the Community Christian and Crossings Christian game, and Crossings Christian won that one. So those are other two we were at.
That was one of our Squirtle games, and I know they usually pick pretty good ones to go into their Squirtle pay dirt package every week. So it sounds like we've got some exciting action, and you guys will have as many recaps as you can tomorrow.
Yes, we will. 3 different games. So yes, it was a fun night, and I'm looking forward to seeing what James and Nick have from their games too.
No doubt, Hallie, and good luck next week finding games in the metro area. There's very few.
Thank you so much. We'll take a look. We'll see.
All right.
Thanks. There she is, Hallie Hart of the Daily Oklahoman, joining us as, of course, she concludes her first week on the high school beat there, and always a pleasure to talk to her. Well, Randy?
Yeah, I was going to just say, I think Hallie will do a great job there. It's going to be nice having someone with the passion that Cameron Jordan had. That was something, I think the Oklahoman was looking for, and I think they found it in Hallie. She'll have to work really hard to live up to what Cameron did, but she's a young lady. I think they can do it.
Any surprises tonight?
Really, I think the surprise was kind of funny. We just had Hallie on. We had Coach Jones on. My biggest surprise was I think Del City's really good. And it's not that I haven't bought into them all year long, but it was kind of like today, not that Midwest City's great, but the shutout and just the way they've tended to get better since week 1, Grant. This team is impressing me, right now. And I'm looking forward to watch how they progress as this year moves on.
Well, as the official representative of the Tulsa contingency here, I will say that I was surprised that Union Jinx wasn't closer. Yeah. And it's, somebody had a win tonight between the Wasso and Broken Arrow, but I'm pretty surprised that Broken Arrow is 0-3 for the first time in recent memory. But I would have been equally surprised if Wasso had been 0-3 to start out the season.
No doubt. And I think just the east side is, can anyone beat Bixby right now?
I don't think they can.
That's the question. They're playing at another level, and it's amazing to think. What would they be doing to 6A2 right now?
Yeah. What would they be doing to NCAA Division II?
Yeah, I mean it's insane. And it's like that program is just built and built and built over the last few years with the success they had at 6A2. Well, and now it's just exploding big time now.
Well, I enjoy having Lauren Montgomery on with us every week, and we're probably the only scoreboard show that does. But I'm running out of questions to ask him because how you like that 60-point win, Coach?
I know. How about this first? I know we're up against it, and he mentioned something about his defense doing well.
Yeah.
Grant, they gave up 14 points in week 1.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many they've given up the last 2 games?
Yeah.
3.
I know.
3 points.
It's nuts.
They've given up 17 all year. 3 in the last 2. It's like, okay, who's stopping this machine right now?
I don't know that anybody can. Well, we'll find out next week what games we have, and 2 weeks from now, it's going to be a full start to district play. So thanks for being with us tonight. Good night. God bless. Thanks for listening. This is the Prep Sports Post Game.
Sports Radio is 107.7 The Franchise, KRXO FM.